Futures shaking off some early weakness here. We're back in positive territory only just at this point. However, coming off quite the day yesterday. Lots of things to discuss this morning. Some more kind of vague tariff headlines. Apparently not all tariffs going to be included on April 2nd now. According to Trump, that was this morning. We'll touch on everything tariff related coming up as far as individual names are concerned. Tesla back on watch here. I mean, it's not, that's Mobileye. We'll touch on that coming up here in a second, but Tesla back to the upside as well, 1.6%. European sales down 2 months in a row by better part of 50%, 42.6% in February, coming off that 50% number that we touched on going back to January. Positive note, however, for Tesla this morning from analysts. So back in positive territory after the initial move to the downside. Yeah, Mobileye going to team up with Volkswagen here to further enhance their driver assistance capabilities. So through 1740 right now, day highs essentially. Not a heck of a lot of volume behind this move right now, but 14% for Mobileye. Overall, I think market awaiting more tariff headlines here on the Tuesday.
It's wild card after wild card, so we'll see what wild card we get dealt today. Okay, so Trump Media, DJT partnering with Crypto.com to launch a crypto ETF, so we'll be on the lookout for that. The FBI is investigating these Tesla attacks, calling them domestic terrorism. Another look there. We also, you mentioned, Brendo, the declining European sales. Meta also proposing a subscription model in Europe, charging about 13 euros a month to kind of circumvent the Digital Markets Act. Let's see how that all works out. And then Apple enters the AI data center. This was the most underreported story, I think, in 2024. The fact that they didn't buy one NVIDIA GPU, they're buying to the tune of $1 billion now, Brendo.
Quietly, too.
Quietly, exactly.
Yeah, not a lot of headlines on that. The Meta story is kind of interesting. Getting rid of ads off of their platforms for, what was it, $14 a month or something like that. So not bad. I think a lot of people will jump all over that. Yeah, DJT, 10.3% here. I mean, what I was reading this morning was it was a suite of ETFs they're going to launch. Some are more America First focused, some on the crypto side. So, yeah, DJT catching a nice bid here to start things off this morning as well, guys. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.
Nice when it's a Tuesday.
I'll take it. You can't call it Turnaround Tuesday because yesterday was so strong.
Yeah,
so
we're starting to go again.
Like you can't say tumultuous because the market's looking very good. Tumultuous to me means bad. Tesla is an absolute rocket. Not
Tesla Tuesday, maybe.
Tesla, yeah, it could be Tesla Tuesday.
It'd be $3 bills
with T. It's
wow.
Hey man, the 200 period. You're basically at
$30
the spot now.
So
yeah, it's only double digits. Ho hum. Tesla's is still again just. It's a monster recovery. I don't think it necessarily matters the catalyst here. So you had like the story about the Europe news, the Europe sales down, then you get an upgrade here. You just throw that all out the window when you're talking about momentum as far as Tesla goes. I mean, there is, like, I think because it's at that 200 period 83, 84, which is the spot that we thought it could get to for a fade. It obviously didn't yesterday. If it breaks 85, I haven't noticed a breakout, but the dip buys are ever changing on a stock like this. Don't sleep on what's going on in the rotation with China, because as you're getting this relief rally, you're starting to see a bit of a distinct pattern to the downside, even on Alibaba. So we're going to be looking at this in the other direction, unfortunately. And I don't know how much I buy into this, that DJT is going to continue.
Yeah, DJT.
Like it's up 11%, but it hasn't really had much follow through on any upward moves recently. So I think if it gets, it's close enough to 25, which is a major level, that I paid for shorts, just in case there's like a pop and fade there. But yeah, their crypto ETF game they're getting into, they talked about getting into the finance game. So this is a decent catalyst. That said, the stock was probably overvalued on a reasonable basis already. Still going to look for a pop and fade at 25 on DGT. There's a lot to watch today, and the two earnings names both disappointed, so I think we'll be looking elsewhere. Although OKLO and KB Homes, we'll see if there's enough volume for some good shorts in those. But yeah, it's a Tesla story. It's their world today. Well, yesterday and today.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're I got Tesla on the mind again. I got Amazon on here as well. I think a lot of these names are starting to break out. I mean, the Nasdaq's, I don't know if it's back or not. I mean, we were talking about like, is Tesla ever going to get back to this level? And then it got back there in 2 days. So, I mean, this market is, I don't know, great opportunities. And NVIDIA down today. So that was a name that I was going to look at for maybe some relative weakness. I mean, look at the NASDAQ starting to pump right now. Again, up 1/3%. That's great. Looking to take down 121 here on NVIDIA, but we'll wait to see. That 120 just wound up holding here. So a down name in NVIDIA. And we looked at the relative strength yesterday in advanced micro devices as well. So I think if you were going to go, again, maybe long one, short the other, you want to look, for a down day potentially in NVIDIA, and then AMD right now 0.27 upside. China name's very interesting as well. I mean, look, there's going to be lots of stuff happening. Rumble just came out with some revenue, with some earnings there. We can have a quick little look. I don't even know what it's doing, so let's have a look. Halted? Is this what Rumble is right now? All right, so just no volume at all, I guess, up and down right there. Active users, maybe they just reported. Maybe that's what it was, but... anyways, yeah, DJT. I just thought Rumble might be doing a little bit more. But yeah, DJT today, interesting. Into the crypto game. We heard so many back and forth headlines about crypto with them, right? And what was it going to be? Now it looks like there's something there. I think DJT is going to be on the sticky note today, too.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rumble's not doing it. They report
what's IBIT? 87,000 Bitcoin?
Oh, the Bitcoin move, too, was pretty nice yesterday. That's got to be back on watch because I think we found some local support. IBIT like 49s. Whatever that corresponds to on Bitcoin. Who cares? The one thing I'd point out about IBIT, though, well, if you were watching in the afternoon, I think you saw what was going on here out in front of around that 88 level. Just $50.35 on IBIT just held a brick wall from noon on. So suffice to say, I mean, what else do you do? If it gets up there, I don't care. Even if the 49 holds for the longs, which is what we thought we'd work off yesterday, if it gets up there, got to be thinking at least some kind of a fade initially for myself on IBIT. So yeah, if there was a brick wall, I wasn't shorting it. I was waiting for it to break out and join the rest of the rally in the afternoon after we had the long early. But yeah, Bitcoin's on watch. There's a lot to look into, guys. So let's be real. You always have to focus down. Don't worry about the FOMO if you miss an initial trade. Like yesterday, Tesla went, but then, IBIT followed like 20, 30 minutes later. Palantir was able to go. That's a good continuation play as well. It's funny, like ever since you mentioned Rumble, I keep waiting for this thing to move because I still think Rumble? It might do something. Well,
I know. That's what I was saying.
They report this morning. I'm like, where's the volume?
Yeah.
Well, oh, yeah, and 23andMe is going to be gone, I think, tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
Well, if we have Jeff Mendel, maybe we can talk about going to the pink sheets. So
yeah, I think it's tomorrow or sometime this week.
Markets. All right, let's go back over to the desk. It's Sharif and Brendo.
I was just going to confirm, Jeff. I'll send him a message, but we'll see if we can connect with Mr. Mendel. Rumble, yeah, numbers are out. 835 was the last print there we got. I mean, they're all green. I'll sift through these a little bit closer to see where the problem is. But yeah, Rumble downside here. Active users, 68 million in Q4 versus 67 million in Q3. Looks pretty good. Revenue overall, topping estimates. Maybe the forecast a bit of a problem there, but I'll check that out for. Rumble, I was looking at Nike here as well, and KE, coming off what happened last week. There was a positive note this morning from Piper Sandler on Nike, reiterating outperform. For Nike shares, not a lot of volume here, but back to positive at least after a nice recovery on Monday.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read the report, Brendo, from Piper Sandler, but they're maintaining their overweight rating with that $90 price target, which is a sizable premium from where we're currently trading. We're trading at around 67 bucks, 68 bucks, give or take, after the big drop that we had a few days ago after they reported earnings March 20th. Flat bottom break there through that 72, did defend 67. So we'll keep an eye out on Nike. Funny enough, I was putting on my gym clothes Sunday, and this was not planned at all. Literally everything from my shoes to my hat were Nike, and I did not mean that to be the case at all. I really underestimate how much Nike products I do have. And
I think a lot of people are in that same camp, but I mean, it's quiet here so far this morning, positive at least with the overall market. I was just going through a couple more of these numbers here for Rumble. I don't see anything that's actually downside here. EPS at $1.15, and then it actually says here in this note, may not compare to the 12-cent estimate. So $1.15 versus 12-cent estimate seems pretty good. But yeah, Rumble downside, guys.
Yeah, well, as far as Nike goes, the good news for Nike is it's above the low on the earnings day. So that's positive news. Yesterday, it was a big time dog yesterday because, hey, the market was pretty strong, if anybody noticed. And Nike, right off the bat, it lost the breakout and then just trended down, tried to pop. It was like a very small pop and then fell again. So unfortunately, yeah, like I said, the good news, you've actually held a higher low. So that's positive. But when you look at what's going on up at like 68.5, 69, which is that prior low on the daily, it's still resistance. So the prior 52-week low before earnings is still resistance on Nike. It's going to have to clear that one out. I mean, there's relative weakness there was relative weakness in Intel yesterday. I think that makes sense. Alibaba was talking about for a short. Nike actually looks pretty good if it gets back to that 69. Until proven otherwise, looks like there is a level forming here on Nike. I was kind of hoping that a better long setup would emerge after earnings on this one, but not yet.
I think you got to wait a little bit for Nike. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those brands that I don't think it's going anywhere, and I think they just kitchen sinked that quarter. So, you might get a good opportunity. Maybe, I don't know, there'll be opportunities. I don't know if it's going to run on us. Bill Ackman was in that name and maybe still is, so that could be another announcement coming there, maybe buying more shares on that dip. Palantir doesn't seem to be wanting to dip at all. Yesterday was a nice move. We've had a beautiful recovery from that 75 or 6 bottom there all the way now to 97. Like, just wild, some of these retracements both ways on this name. So Palantir, again, I like this name. Dat Chat right now spiking, by the way, as they get their app, I guess, going now. We just heard. So Dat Chat, the app now available for sure in iOS, I heard. And now you go up to $3 almost there, looking at the 50-period moving average there for Dat Chat. This was a name that, I don't know, now that it's back, I feel like I remember this name back in 2020 or something, DATS, because remember we were saying like that's what's up and stupid things like that. But there it is, man, $3.10, looking like a decent area to have a look. If you've been buying this name off the 200 period, wow, man, did you find one right there? It looks like we did have a reverse split or something, maybe potentially right there. I'm not sure what that was all about. But right into there, a $2 bottom up to $3. So watch out there for Dat Chat, just some news coming through there. But no, I was just thinking that Palantir could be a very, very interesting dip buy candidate. I don't know about the 200 period right now. The NASDAQ still has to open up today, and we'll figure out what's going on. But I have Palantir written down on the sticky note. It's going to be out down here somewhere. So we'll figure out what levels are good. And then also a $100 break. Why not? For Palantir. I remember when it was coming into 100, nothing was stopping it, and now we'll see if we can get the similar response to that. But remember, when levels break, what winds up happening, I've been noticing, is that it'll break, it'll go 20 or 30 cents, it'll be all great, you'll think it's going, and then all of a sudden it will flush back down. So I think you got to definitely take something out on the initial break. And if you're right, you're right. You kind of, like we were saying yesterday, play with house money on some of those plays.
And the second break sometimes really good. Like, it'll fail the first, stop some people out, and then when you go with the second
try again. Try again. But that chat just touched 290. Yeah. So that chart was $3. We hadn't looked at that name in forever. And if you're in it now, you can have a quick look. Palantir back to all-time highs. I'd sure hope so. Let's fingers crossed on that one. That means the whole market's probably working. Oh, there it is. Social media of Apple and iOS and Android. I just saw for Dat Chat. So, all right, guys, you never know what names are going to be popping up.
Think about that. Sounds strangely like Instagram. It's called Missium, a photo and content sharing app from Dat Chat. Sounds a lot like Instagram. So we'll keep an eye on DATS. We're going to have Mitch Hoke joining us here, coming up here from Trade the Pool to touch on market action over the past couple of days, see what he's looking at. Lots of little ones flying around here. Your kind of day setting up. I mean, we were just talking about DATS there, but here's another one, TNON. A cool 327% to start things off. POAI, another one moving around here this morning. We're getting back into that type of market, it feels like, where there's a couple of these every day.
God, I love it, Brendo. I love trading these. All right, guys, let's start with TNON. Fantastic look. I really drove aggressively high in the 7:30 hour there, hitting that $6 area. But look, you can see the stair stepping down. The lower highs are what's operative here. The number one thing for me, Brendo, is to make sure that these guys are trading above the pre-market high after the bell, and as well trading above the volume weighted average price. Both TNON and PAOI fit that bill. 210 is the volume weighted average price for TNON, or for PAOI, excuse me, or POAI. And TNON's VWAP just around that 350 area. So both tradable right now, Brendo.
I haven't looked at this stock for a long, long time, but I just realized Cassava Sciences is $2.20 this morning. Down better part of 20% right now on some phase 3 trial results out here, it looks like.
Beautiful looking daily.
It was about 8.13. $2.20 for Cassava Sciences. Wow. Yeah, down huge here. Anyways, as I was mentioning, Mitch Hoke is waiting patiently in the wings here. We'll bring him in, touch on what he's been looking at over the past couple of weeks. There's definitely a lot to touch on here, Mitch. Great to have you back, first of all.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Crazy action, lots of excitement to deal with. Where do you want to start? I mean, overall, maybe just a higher level look here at the market. It's been a back and forth kind of chop fest, but I think we were expecting that going into this year.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of expected after the kind of the bull run that we've had. You know, a lot of people are calling it, some are going to call it a bubble. Some people are going to call it kind of just evaluations getting overblown. Of course, we also had the euphoria stocks, right? I'll call it euphoria, where Palantir and HIMS were just going to the moon, right? Those have slowly come down. Now it's just more about focusing on what are you looking at? Is it the bear case or the bull case, right? The bear case is all about consumer concerns right now. It's all about credit card balances and car loans. That's where I'm seeing the trouble, really, in delinquencies there. So if there is going to be more trouble, it's going to come from the consumer slowdown. So I'll be really paying attention to retail numbers coming up and seeing what happens there. But the bull case is all about transitory tariffs effects, right? Of course, we've been talking about tariffs, but we haven't really seen the impact on inflation. I think the CPI report, not the one that just came, the one prior, really scared some people, saying, oh no, but here's the inflation. Well, I say wait to show me the numbers first, right? We're in a seasonality time where it is strong. Now, there is some worry about the last couple of days of March. Seasonality does run into a little bit of some problems there. The past 35 years, the Dow Jones Industrial and the S&P 500 have declined 22 times during this time, and only 13 advances on the last 3 and 4 trading days in March. So we could run into a little bit of a pullback here, but right now we're looking good for the seasonality run that drives us into that talk of, right, selling into May kind of mentality. So I think that right now we're in a strong period. We got to be looking to jump on this. And a big part of this is forget about the talk, try to focus on the numbers that are actually coming out.
And what is working and what isn't working. And I want to go back to one of the initial points you made there on the retail side of things. We get these numbers out of Europe once again for Tesla, pretty bad. I mean, let's be honest, 42.6% decline on in February on a year-over-year basis. That being said, it's been a pretty impressive bounce back here. I mean, if you zoom out, long way to go still for this stock, but I mean, it's a start.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'd say about Tesla is that if you just focus on the cars, the autos themselves, doesn't look sexy at all, especially during this time right now where we're seeing delinquencies rise and car values, the cost of these cars are just through the moon, right? You can see some SUVs going for $60,000 to $80,000, and really the middle class can't be affording that vehicle. But the good part of Tesla, they're in 2 of the hottest themes, I say, to watch for 2025, which is, of course, robotics and the autonomous driving. So they have 2 of the best areas right now to look for further growth and advancements. And I think that these are the 2 that are really going to change Tesla's mentality on being an auto manufacturer to turning into really what a lot of people call it, a technology company.
On that note, Mobileye, another one moving around here this morning, MBY up on this Volkswagen tie-up to further enhance their driver assistance capabilities here. I mean, not a lot of volume, as we were saying, behind this move so far from Mobileye, but give me your thoughts.
I love Mobileye. I actually brought Mobileye early when Trump first got elected. I brought it here, guys. I said there was 3 names to watch. It was Tesla, Mobileye, and AUR on the small side of things. Now, of course, we got NVIDIA bringing in mentions with the GM. I say, of course, the 3 top names are Tesla, NVIDIA, Google. Then you can work down the list to Mobileye, LiDAR, and AUR as some of the smaller plays. And you can try to ride some of these smaller plays to make some good momentum money. And, of course, the investments should be looking towards more of that kind of Tesla, NVIDIA, Google, some of the big names. Of course, Waymo recently was this testing here in Austin, right? Testing more and more of getting it out to different cities. I think this is going to get a big push from Trump, and that's going to help really get this moving forward. Of course, what needs to happen is less of scrutiny on the regulation side for safety in this, right? That's the real concern that everybody has, is the safety aspects. But I think it's going to get the gas pedal pushed, and you got to be watching for Tesla, NVIDIA, Google to be the leaders. And Mobileye is not going to be bad. I mean, it's something that hasn't been pushed, right? The product's been really developed, and I think you continue to watch more partnerships going to Mobileye.
Well, speaking of Trump, it seems like a day-to-day basis here. We get, maybe hour-by-hour updates on what's going to happen April 2nd, what next hour is going to happen on April 2nd. Now he's saying maybe not all the tariffs are going to be included on April 2nd. So from a general standpoint here, how are you approaching this market given these, really headline-driven events that happen?
Yeah, it's an important thing to watch right now. I'm looking for the broadening out of the rally, not like we were looking at it before, right? A lot of people were looking at technology, and even on this bounce back, they're focused on that area because of AI. But I say watch for the industrial and the financials, because those are the areas where I think we need to see continued strength to actually get this rally to hold. And a big part of that for rhetoric coming from Trump, right? Building here, manufacturing here. Of course, more and more deals coming to the United States. So one of the best ways to offset the tariffs that are coming in, because the tariffs are affecting the middle part of America, is to bring manufacturing to the middle part of America. So look for deals and conversations in that. And I'm watching for the industrial space. And I have a shared chart that I could show you guys. A big watch yesterday was all about the head and shoulders pattern that we were seeing on the industrials. And now we're starting to get above that neckline. So 134 was that neckline approach. Now we got to continue to watch to see if we can get that lift through the 135 and see the industrials going stronger. Names to watch right now that have been hot: Boeing, RTX at pretty much all-time highs, and we're going to continue to see if this develops into different areas. Airlines were hot yesterday. We started seeing the small nuclear reactors start to get a little bit of some volume. So that's an area, also a theme that I think is not going to go away. Why? Because more and more talk of cloud computing and edge computing. As we get further and further along here, we're going to be looking for energy solutions. And we all know how Trump is watching energy right now. So keep your eyes on that to see more and more conversation of small nuclear reactors.
And we hear these Google-related data headlines this morning as well. So more to come from that standpoint. Great stuff. Mitch Hoke over at Trade the Pool. Always great input and great analyst. Great to have you once again.
Yeah, definitely. Last thing I'd give you guys is really kind of keep your eyes on opportunities. Right now, we just came out with different opportunities, of course, with Trade the Pool, where you have essentially an unlimited time for these kind of props, right? These evals. And I think it's so important to try to take things slow in the uncertainty time and then look for the waves. It's all about riding the waves, right? Knowing when to hit the gas pedal and brake pedal is what defines a lot of day traders. I know the guys on the floor all the time. They're looking for those big trend moves so that they can really ride that wave and move your equity wave higher.
Great stuff. Mitch Hoke, best of luck on a Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. And
I like those ideas.
Speaking of waves, Mitch mentioned Boeing. That's on a nice run. That's on a very, very nice run. Now, obviously, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I'm not saying you run.
There should be a song like that. Like that was really good.
It's a really.
Why doesn't someone?
It's a great idea.
Put that to some sort of a jingle.
Well, I was thinking more of a country tune.
something.
You think maybe country?
I don't know. It feels like, yeah, a little more of the old school. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, we've got that.
Yeah, you know what? We'll
Anyways, Boeing is
Boeing.
looking, yeah.
Okay, well, I think it might, I'm not saying run away, but it's starting to get to that point where it's made a huge V-shaped recovery in the last couple of weeks here from recent lows. And this feels pretty strong. It seemed like it was losing that 200 was going to be really bad, and then all of a sudden you're breaking out, you're getting some new deals done, production's coming back online. I can't remember the last time we had when was the last Boeing negative story? I actually can't remember, which is good, because that means there hasn't been one in the last few weeks. And obviously, you've got some resistance at the 190, but this seems like it's primed to challenge this and finally break it out at some point. So it's one of those like set the alerts, because that 190 area, if it can go, I think there's a lot of room for this bad boy to run. Oh yeah, remember DATS?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. It was at $3, man.
It hit 360.
Yeah.
So it's continuing to go. So I don't know, it's corny to say that's what's up, but it is, and continuing to rally. There's been a lot of these that have had really good follow through. I think what I want to do is after the opening range, like the first 10 minutes, these small cappers that are going, it's like which ones are holding over VWAP. And if after the first 30 minutes it's holding over VWAP, find one to take a shot in it. Ideally, you wanted this one a little closer to the $2 level, because 2 was a brick wall.
Well, we had called it up. It was like 220, 230. But, it was a good opportunity there. And we talked about the $3 level again there.
It's gone now.
$2 was also the 200-period moving average.
There's a small cap.
Yeah, Big Bear AI yesterday up about 20%, up another 5 and 6% today, as we're getting back upside right now on Big Bear AI. So that's another one there with a decent short float, a name that, I've been buying this dip. We'll see. Oh, there goes crypto down to 87 right now, by the way. So just a quick little look to see what IBIT is doing. Load. All right, yeah, starting to break through this 49.50 or so area. We'll talk more about crypto and all that. But yeah, thanks, Mitch. That was great. Talking about Raytheon there at all-time highs, and then we talked about LMT yesterday, looking at some of those plays as well. I think your GE is actually a pretty strong name as well as non-GE Aerospace, as they've split off various segments. What's up, Randy?
Yeah, but
that Tesla, man, we're already back to the 200 period. We're already
did not take.
And we were talking about just missing out on that Rivian, and just wondering now about up to $12. You and I were mentioning maybe we'll just wait to see about earnings now at this point, unless this drops another 20% into that $10 mark. You had just missed your call there at 10.20 as we went down. You mentioned the low was 10.56. Yeah, it looks like that was exactly there. Almost.
Pretty close.
Almost, yeah. Oh, well, there it is, right back to the 2. Yeah, it always moves around here. So we'll see about this market coming back down just a little bit. You've been liking energy for a while as well, Randy, so that's been doing okay here. XOM, we just talked about energy a little bit right there. 116 again. Wow, that bounced off that 105, didn't it? Just, yeah, there it is down there again. So ExxonMobil starting to work as well, back above the 200 period. And again, just to grab some yield, you get that there with that dividend, probably around 3%, 3.5 maybe. Nice upside move. There again, Chevron's a good one. XLE, I like all that. I'm in XLE, but yeah, I like XOM as well. So good couple moves, man. There's lots of stuff happening right now, no matter what you're looking at. Whether or not it's EVs, oil, bank stocks are back to the upside again as well. Some of these low cap, big movers moving around today.
Many of them.
There, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, you like that Magna. Yeah, get some auto parts in your life. Now that we have those car tariffs coming.
Yay.
Yes. I wonder if there's going to be a rug pull on these tariffs, honestly, and this market just, rips up, and he's like, ha, ha, ha. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people getting long there.
It's a decent enough probability. That's the thing. And I think we know the drill. If you're going to rally as much as we do off some of those lows, and we're 1 week away from finding out exactly we don't even know what's going to happen. There's so much, there's going to be reciprocal, and now there could be specific sector-related ones. It's okay, well, which one is it, and what are we doing here? I don't know. It's funny that Randy mentioned that Magna, because that's Like, they're an auto parts company that has been getting destroyed here in Canada. Washington destroyed's a bad word. That's overstating it. But you have to wonder, for an auto parts company that's trying to bottom, like, this is, even in Toronto, like, there's so many things that are looking like they want to break back out. Not that anyone is going to trade that particular name. Oh, and Herd Scrambler just mentioned this one with an upgrade. Carvana, like, really? Carvana with an upgrade, and this is rallying and looking like it wants to get back above the 50-period moving average. That being said, I'm eyeballing this for 240 because I actually think this is going to set itself up for, you got 1 and then 2 today, and then if it holds up today and then presses again into 240, that's like a day 3 reversal play at 240 for me on Vana. I probably don't touch it today, but if late today or tomorrow it's up at that 240 level, I'd be looking short on Carvana. It's just,
if you only knew the bottom, like
it's like, look, it's 4 days. 4 days,
160.
165 to 225. Come on.
Oh man, some of this stuff is just wild to see some of these retracements, and being able to pick that bottom. Is this just a quick little relief rally? I guess we'll find out. Nasdaq back down to zeros right now. Well, up 0.15. We'll see if it can hold that level. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Make sure you do scan that QR code. Get involved with real trading. Also, watch list. We're going to be going over. It's completely free. FREEEEEE. And you can grab that, and we're going to go over that. The watch list. We're showing that for you guys, and I'll show it when we get back. But for right now, let's go back over to the desk and talk to Brennan and Sharif.
58.16, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. We're already above that level with the overnight high being 58.34. So here's the deal. We're going to use 58.50 as support. If we break down, we're actually going to use 57.75, which was a previous area high, as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to that page, and then all you need is your email address. Even if it's an AOL.com email address, you can sign up for the, I don't know, it was on there. You can sign up for the watch list. It has everything you need to know on the in the pre-market before we come on at 8:30. Tesla coming back in a little bit here, still up nicely, 1.3%. If you missed it again, 2 months in a row, downside in a pretty big way here over in Europe, 42.6% decline in February in sales. That's on a year-over-year basis. So coming off what happened in January, not a good look.
No, Brando, it's not a good look at all. I mean, it's tough there in Europe for Tesla. Sales dropped 42.6%. As you mentioned, year-over-year, the company sold under 17,000 cars in the EU, UK, and the EFTA compared to the 28,000 that they sold last year. The Tesla's BEV, battery electric vehicle market share dropped to 10.3%, down from, this is a big drop, 21.6% last year. Some of the reasons are they're struggling with an aging lineup, and European and Chinese automakers are introducing nicer, newer, and cheaper EVs. Also, there's a bit of a weakness right now in the European economy, and Elon Musk's political affiliations certainly are not helping with that. Despite these struggles, total BEV sales in Europe actually rose 26.1% year over year. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And last but not least, with respect to some of the competitors' performance over here, wrong slide, let's bring that one in. Volkswagen up 4%, Renault 10.8%, Stellantis dropped 16.2%. Volvo also saw some drop there, in Chinese EV brands, including BYD, continue to grow.
I'm surprised BMW isn't higher up there. They're getting more and more.
Yeah, they are.
The EV game.
They are. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the the XM. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see that when they're SUV into the electric vehicle market. Not very appreciated for its designs, but excellent execution.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either of the actual design. Meanwhile, here's Gordon Johnson saying in San Diego alone, or San Diego County alone, year-to-date sales down 35%. Worth noting, yes, Gordon Johnson's hella short on Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, look, it got cut from like $480 to $220. So there's a point at which, with all of that coming to the downside, you can tell me the story about Europe, and you can tell me about how it's Tesla's out of favor right now. I mean, well, how far did you need it to drop for all of that to get priced in and eventually make some kind of a bottom? There hasn't been any sign. Look, yesterday was a breakout day off the lows from Tesla. And for those that asked, I did say yesterday in the show, like the 220, look, I stink bid I had a stink bid at 220, 222. I sold a third of those shares actually when it looked like it was reversing yesterday. There was like this point in here where it kind of like broke the highs, and this is before 1 o'clock, came back in, and I sold a third of that buy at like 74, and of course now it's at like 82. But, you know, when you sell into an up move, you never really look good. You tend to not look good the next day at the point that you sold. If you pull back this daily chart, obviously you can see that this level has been big in the past. Like this 280 area, generally speaking, it's been more like 280, 83 to 85 recently, and that's where the 200 period is on the daily. So I'm thinking if it gets above 85, it's a breakout. But this is that point. You're at the 200 period right now. So at this exact price, I consider that like diddling in the middle a little bit. You need to break out 85 to be gone. And we showed support. I mean, you see 70 in here, but I kind of wrote down 70 to 73. So I wanted a wider range to work off of, so that if it gets down like 74, 75, I'm willing to take a dip by long in Tesla. But yeah, it's been an absolute rocket ship, at least for now. But I do think up at this end of the range, it needs to clear 85 to prove it can go above that 200 period moving average. Otherwise, it's wait for the dip.
Yeah, I wrote down Tesla here, just looking back at yesterday's closing price, basically 276. Right there. So I think we continue this rally. I wanted to see what was going on, though, with the market, like off the open, because we're bouncing. I just think we could test VWAP again at some point there. I should have. I didn't write down anything for the TQs, but that would be the long area, and we'll talk about that as we get closer to the open. But what about like a drip in here into 20,000, 370, 380, something like that? We don't have to go all the way down, but that should, if that does happen, and we missed Tesla yesterday. I think Tesla is that instantly quick trade if you like it. Again, if you look at yesterday, we talked about missing it. I forget what level we had written down yesterday. Oh yeah, 254 it was, or I don't know what it was, but it was one of those where we just had missed it, which was fine. But there's the move down and then right away. So we had a little bit of uncertainty off the open, maybe $2, and then it just ripped right through. So if that happens again here today, and you have a little bit of uncertainty, it probably goes down to that 280 mark. If the futures don't collapse, then boom, straight up to the upside. So I think an instant trade right away would be this 280 mark to look at. And then what I was thinking was 276. Again, right into the close, we did have an elevated move upside. So I was just looking at somewhere around here where that move had started. So 277, 276, if you dip down $5, that's very possible. Like Neil mentioned, we just came from 220, 230, so all the way up to 280. I can't believe how fast this one got going, and especially yesterday's 12% move. So, if you woke up today and you're expecting an extended move, you got it. So maybe you do sell a little bit today there and forces the move in, and we sit there with open arms. I'm already bidding right now 276.50. So if we do get any dip buy opportunities, that's where I'm going to be. Look, I really like the name for trade. I think it's a good move to get a little lighter if you're nervous about the stock, or if you're just profit taking. I think it's a good move. It's been, I don't know why my daily's not changing there. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Yeah, so it's a nice move. You still have a ways to go, right? 330 back there with the 50 period, but it's a nice move right now back to the upside. I'd take advantage of this, and then again, continue the rally forward. If the market stays positive, Tesla probably does as well. So we're looking long here on Tesla today. We'll just prefer a dip by opportunity.
All right, let's go to DJT, trying to hold on to $23 here on this note this morning. Through their TruthFi, there it is, TruthFi brand. They're going to launch a suite of ETFs, some crypto focus, some quote unquote made in America focus, up 9% here this morning for DJT.
Yeah, it's not a bad look here. They're launching a crypto focus, as you mentioned, ETF with Crypto.com. The funds will have a Made in America theme and are expected to launch later in 2025, of course, pending regulatory approval. The ETFs are going to include Bitcoin. It's going to include Kronos, which is Crypto.com's personal token, and traditional securities across multiple industries. Just to give you some idea, though, like the financial business here of Trump Media is a little bit interesting. It's got a $4.6 billion market cap. They reported a $400 million net loss, Brendo, with $3.6 million in revenue. You got to tell everybody. Fine. Yeah, everything's fine here. With Crypto.com, that's going to be the affiliate for the ETF, but it's going to be Forest Capital, Brendo, that's going to handle the back-end operations.
Yeah, more potentially just a trade here, possibly today. I was just trying to check the volume here. It's actually not that bad. It says 1. It's tough to see, but it says 1 up there on the relative volume. It's actually a little bit higher than that right now.
It was hilarious. I was looking it up on FinViz and just realized when I typed in the symbol that they have, like, there's a 2x leverage DJT. Come on, man.
Wild.
Like, what is going on? Like, it's not even that liquid. DJT is just not that liquid to begin with to even have that. But and then Sean was pointing out, like, there was a point when it was doing much better volume. So relative volume is up, yes, but it still does a very small fraction of what it was doing, you know, in and around the election when it was hot. So I don't know, until it starts showing me that it's got the kind of volume for a little bit more juice, I would just look for a spot to fade. We have locates on this one that we paid nothing for here at Real Trading. Nothing's not literally nothing, just incredibly cheap. So I said 25 earlier. I'm not sure if it has the juice to even get there. So maybe if it presses into 24, I'll just be looking for a reversion or a fail underneath 25 for a bit of a pop and fade here on DJT. I don't know. This is not. There's a lot of small cappers that have been showing you some continuation plays. I feel like if this one tries to go, I'll be looking for a spot to reverse. And if hopefully it gets to 25, because that'd be on the daily a good level.
I want to say thank you to Ben Fishin here, talking about the breakfast tacos, eggs, cheese, cilantro, and some good old Texas brisket.
Are you kidding
Neil?
me?
So there it is. We'll show it, Ramin, in a second. There it is right there. So we hit the like, and we'll just go, yup, like that. That was a good one. So thank you, Ben Fishin, for that. We'll get, today was some omelets over there. So
it was a good omelet, but it didn't have brisket.
It didn't have any meat in it whatsoever, I do not believe. I just cut one into a third, and I just took a little piece and had that. I don't know. I find them, they're okay, but anyways, yeah, better than just the all cheese one.
It's the job, though.
Yeah, some nice peppers in there. What about just a fade back to 21 bucks? I mean, I want to look long on this name. I actually don't want to look short. I don't know if it's going to blast higher or what the situation's going to be here with DJT. What did you say the short float was? Did you say it? I can look. I mean, that's okay. Oh, it doesn't have it. Okay, let's just look it up just real quickly here, and then we'll go on it. So I'm looking at it's on my sticky note today, DJT. So hopefully that will get it going. Not that will get it going. That we'll look at it and keep it on our mind. Yeah, we have 11% here on Benzinga Pro. So 11% short float. That's good enough, right? That should be some sort of a reason. This is the news flow that we have as well here in our ear, talking all the time, letting us know what's going on. But yeah, back into yesterday's close. I just, again, if you're up 10%, maybe it does flush into there. I don't think 21 is the level that we start buying, but maybe 21.50. We just want to look there, right? I mean, it shouldn't go red on this news. So that's where, if we do get a drip, or it might even be more like a tank into that level, 21.50, something around there is where I'm looking long for DJT. Look, I like the story. I think it's a story, and might have some kind of legs. So that's a good one. Crypto.com. We'll see if it does have those legs, and it should circulate on social media. I'm sure maybe the president might even tweet something out if he hasn't already, or truth it out or whatever, and gets it going. So there it is, man. DJT, I think we like the name today, and I would be looking long, but a little bit lower than this. I don't want to get in right away.
Also on that note, World Liberty Financial saying its USD1 stablecoin will be backed by U.S. Treasuries, dollar deposits, and cash equivalents. That's just coming across right now. I'm just keeping an eye on IBIT. It's not really doing a heck of a lot, but worth noting. Let's go to Meta. Kicking the tires, it seems like, on a possible $14 a month. Would you pay $14 a month for no ads on Instagram?
No.
I feel like people would, at that point, just be zombies and just permanently fixed on Reels.
Brendo, I'm using Meta a lot less. Instagram. I'm on TikTok, right? I like TikTok. I like TikTok. All right, let's get to work here. Meta plans to charge €10 a month, Brendo, about $10.50 US for the desktop account, and €13 a month, about 14 US for the mobile account for ad-free Instagram and Facebook. Additional linked accounts are going to cost you about €6, and the price on mobile is actually higher because Apple and Google have to get their cut in the App Store. So the subscription model here aims to comply with the EU regulations requiring user consent for what they call behavioral ads. Meta faces stricter enforcement under the recently passed Digital Markets Act, which American companies love this Digital Markets Act. It's very, very conducive to their business model. I'm being sarcastic, which limits data sharing, of course, across other platforms. Some of the challenges remain here passing this because there's uncertainty over whether the EU regulators will approve this pricing. Regulators may argue the cost is too high. They actually have control over that, believe it or not. And last but not least, some of the financial impact for Meta here. Meta earns about $17.88 per Facebook user in Europe. And so the company has about 258 million Facebook users, 257 million Instagram users. So this is looking to offset that cost that they're going to lose per user.
Might as well make some money if they're going to have to make that change anyways. So Meta, guys, still incredibly strong here today.
Yeah, another 1% today. First of all, just thank you to Arcus FX here for the additional super chat. Add some GTA wine to complete, I guess, that breakfast burrito. Appreciate you for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So look, they're doing this because they don't have, like, they have to, and so I don't think the intention is to have a bunch of people sign up for it. Like, ideally, it's like offer a solution that nobody gets so that they can pump ads to everybody still, because that's the core. I mean, ultimately, price action matters more. You haven't really gotten into 635 yet, so there's still room for this to rally. If I were to look at this and say, well, okay, dip buy into the prior close, which looks good. You had this sort of very distinct top at 620, dip buy into that prior close. Well, if you're doing the same thing in Tesla and I'm doing the same thing in Palantir, then I'm probably not going to end up trading Meta. I do like Meta. Bought it off the 200 period. It was one of the other things that we liked. And I think it's going to work in the future. I don't know whether this is the distinct bottom, but I'd like to think you have room to get to that 200 period moving average. It's just that, I like 95 on Palantir better. I think Tesla's going to do better trade volume. You throw in Alibaba that we're looking at, and Meta just might not end up getting traded today. But I'm still bullish on it. There's no question about that.
Yeah, look, I really like Meta, obviously, as it continues to go higher here. Up one and a quarter. It's just, again, having to try to be patient. Like, I wish we could just say, I just buy this. I think you do have a green light to buy it at these levels. I think you could almost buy it right now and hold against this 622. But things are just going to be a little bit wild here off the open, I would think, again. But maybe not. I know it's like, it's so hard to make a prediction to trade this name off the open. But I would say it's clearly there's a runway to get all the way back up. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. The only thing for me about paying for that, I don't actually see that many ads on Instagram anymore. What I see is like sponsored posts, like users, like they're recommending, to follow this person, and I guess that they're sort of paying. Like, I don't see commercials for Nike. I don't really see ads on there, and I don't know if that actually solves that problem or not. If your feed is just the feed that you choose, or if they start throwing in like other users, right? Like, I search a lot of stuff for hockey, so then what comes up are all these like random, like funny hockey things or whatever. I rarely see like ads for skates or anything like that. I'm seeing other people's feeds. So I just wonder if that gets away from that or if it just is straight commercial ads. But at the end of the day, I think it's what Neil mentioned there is just that, they're just throwing something out there. And if you want to pay for it, great. If you don't, great. Like X has it. It's either that or we sell all our stuff to the Chinese government, right? So you go on Meta or you go on TikTok.
Well, I'm enthused to do that.
It's your choice, right? So we'll see. I think this could get a lot more interesting. So again, better revenue stream for Meta. Yeah, I think it's a green light.
All right, let's go on to CVNA, a better part of 5% here on this. Morgan Stanley upgrading to overweight on Carvana. Seems aggressive.
Yeah, it is quite aggressive, Brendo, especially that price target upgrade as well. So you got the buy rating, you got a price target boost up from 260 to 280. Analyst Adam Jones upgrading it. Basically, he kind of feels that it's a buying opportunity with the stock pulling back. A good exposure to the leading auto and retail fleet fulfillment company, he says. The shares previously did peak above that 285, so the price target is below all-time highs, but it dropped 12.1% in Q4. It's up. The stock, I should say, is up 450% in the past year, prompting a shift in analyst sentiment. So we'll have to see how this bad boy trades today.
This is very surprising to me, but what do I know? Here's the daily chart, as you were mentioning, a huge move down. Yep. This thing was almost $300.
Yeah.
Let's all, remind ourselves here.
Absolutely.
We get back to 175, about halfway back now. Just that move alone, we're right in the middle of the range here for CVNA.
As crazy as CVNA has been, it doesn't mean this is a good metric, but or a positive one for them. Their P is up at 135, or it's in the hundreds, but their forward P is actually crept down to 43. Now it's still way too high, but it does mean it's not as ridiculous as it was before. When I talked about this previously, this is what's setting up, and maybe it'll be today, more likely like a tomorrow thing when I was talking about the short. It's like a breakout, get 1, 2, 3 days into a level like a 240, which is already a big one, and then you look for the fade. But you're only on day 2. The problem with this is, like if you're trading Carvana, like the setup for it, super strong day yesterday, that gaps above and goes right to the 200 period on the daily. That is exactly the same move as Tesla. So if you were trading like the same way we'd look for Tesla, maybe you'd pull into prior close, or you'd look at like the pre-market low. Just gonna trade Tesla instead. But what is different from Tesla is there's now an upper band. If it does something approximating what it did yesterday, I'm looking short at 240. That's the next level on the chart. It's done a full round trip, V-shape, whatever you want to call it, shape. It looks more like a U, but who cares? If it gets up to 240, then that would be a fade. I just can't see looking for the same dip buy, because you got to pick your poison. Like every stock that was an absolute rocket ship yesterday, you can't be trying to dip buy them all for continuation. You'll probably just end up missing, because you'll have your eyes going everywhere, and they're all looking very, very similar. It's not the exact same chart as Tesla, but it's incredibly similar. So, you got to pick your poison. Like, I don't mind Tesla and, say, Palantir, but you start to throw CVNA in there, and you're just trying to trade too much.
Yeah, I don't. Again, that was just one of those names that's off that 160 level. I mean, Carvana continues to work. I wanted to just quickly call up some of these names. DatChat right here does make that move above $3 up to 360, and now seems to want to hold in and around this 3 area. So watch out for that one straight off the open. We only have now 8 minutes before we get some imbalances, and we'll see if DatChat is on there. But yeah, nice move up there today. And we reported this early, right when it was down here, man, 240, 230. We talked about the iOS and the Android app getting launched today. So there it goes, right off the 50 period. So it looks like DATS is working. Another name that we want to keep our eye on too today is Big Bear AI, up another 7% here today. So fallbacks into the 200 period, into VWAP. Kind of traded like earnings. Yesterday we just, rocketed up there in the middle of the day. Started going, we bounced off the 200 early, and then we sort of never really got into VWAP at all. So, these kind of names, these are what we want to look at when we're chasing some of these plays. Don't necessarily have to break the top here, but fall back into some possible support here. BBAI, I like the name. Obviously, we've talked about that. And then also DatChat starting to move around again as well. And then the name that I'm looking to get something out on, probably JP Morgan, as we approach 250. Let's see if we can hold that level as well. JP Morgan now just 5 or 6, 7, 8 days or so straight back to the upside as some of the rebound happens in the financials as well. It's been a good opportunity to dip out of the last 5 or 6 days, but you had to be a little bold to do that. Again, some names nicely performing well, other names not. Mobileye gets that bounce today. We heard a little bit of this from Mitch as well. So let's go find the story here with Mobileye.
Yeah, teaming up with Volkswagen to further enhance and upgrade their driver assistance systems. So, I mean, we'll see. There's not a lot of details. Reading another note on this, there's not a lot of detail into what this might entail, but I mean, you get Volkswagen money behind you, it's going to cause the stock to move.
Absolutely. It's a good collaboration with Mobileye, which is definitely needed. A tailwind as of late with Tesla and Waymo really taking the headlines here. So here's the deal. Mobileye collaborating with VW and an auto supplier by the name of Valeo to enhance driver assistance systems to level 2. So level 2 in the industry means certain things. Level 2 features include like lane keeping, automatic braking, adaptive cruise control, but drivers must stay fully engaged, so it's by no means like a full self-drive type situation. It's an unofficial designation, so there's really no regulatory definition for this. It's kind of an industry standard that's been picked up right now.
Yeah, if you zoom out on MBLY, it paints a little bit of a different picture. That's the gap this morning. Way down. So a long way to go, potentially, here for Mobileye, guys.
Well, it is just riding the 200 period on the daily, which that's been... Look, if you're using an indicator, make sure the indicator matters on that stock. Does it matter? The 200, does it matter on Mobileye? Well, yeah, a huge deal. The 50 period, not so much. The 200 period has been just about everything. So I think you've got some serious resistance on it. The problem with Mobileye for a trade, like I can look at that and say, okay, well, 18 gets up to 18. Play continuation longs into 18 and try to give it up after that because that's where you want to try to reverse it and short it. It's done 488,000 shares of volume, which is it's just not a lot. Like that's not enough volume to get terribly interested in. So I don't know that that's a place that I'm going to go. You know, I don't mind. Like I'll look over and say, okay, well, I still like IBIT. That's going to be on the plan. Maybe we don't see the 49 yesterday, but we didn't see 49 yesterday on IBIT. And we're still able to find the long when it broke out the 50 level. So as long as it's over 49, I'm still looking bullish into that. That gives me the pre-market low at 49.4. That gives me 49. We'll see about VWAP off the open as we're starting to go here. And then remember, 50.35 is just brick wall the entire afternoon. So that's where I want to look. And as I said, Palantir, Tesla already going to be on watch. I mean, DJT's got to do something special to get to 25 for me to fade that. But Mobileye probably better for swing traders than day traders based on the volume it's done. And if it closes above that 200 period, great. I think you have a pretty good shot at a trend reversal. It's done it once, and then the day after that, it immediately failed. So I think it needs to prove itself above that 200 period for me.
We have the imbalances out. BBAI is at the top of it, which is nice as a buy. Tesla, Palantir is also a buy. There's Big Bear AI, 380. It's still the same levels. Tesla's a buy as well. That's 384 right now. Going higher right now is Tesla. There's our Palantir, 9780. All these names, man. Apple's a sell, so we'll watch out for that one. This is also on the sticky note today in and around 220. So we'll see if Apple does dip into those levels. It looked like it's trying to come into there right now. You know, I want to talk a little bit about yesterday's sticky note and a name that we gave a while ago down at $12 as just a great opportunity to get in there, put that risk to reward to work a little bit right now. And there it goes. So you got Mara yesterday down here at $12. I was just looking, it's been on the sticky note for pretty much 2 or 3 days last week. We had it on there yesterday for this area, but it just got going yesterday, like real early, like the whole Bitcoin trade really started to go. And then there goes Mara, winds up yesterday, I think 17% or something like that, maybe even more. And right now trying to take out this 1465. So look at that sort of breakout long early off of Mara. So that would be a great opportunity. You do have the 50 period, the 200 and VWAP all right here right now. So good support on Mara and well cooked yesterday. So maybe that continuation trade goes as there is somewhat of a short float on that. If I can be corrected, then let me know. But I believe there is. And now Bitcoin's starting to go. Brendan had some words there about, I think it was Tether being backed or whatever some of that news was there. I just felt like that really, whatever that story was, and again, that's why I'm like not trying to tell you what it was, but it's a nice move to the upside there for crypto back up to 88. So watch out there as it's really starting to go on a 5-minute chart. It does look pretty good as well. Yeah, Intel's what, 2450. So there it is right there, breaking this level, 87.75 there for that. What's Intel?
Oh no, I just saw no, never mind. There was a bit of a spike down on Intel just now, and I thought that maybe it was a little bit weaker and it was going to challenge a flat bottom break. I forgot to mention this when we talked about the chips. No, we didn't talk about the chips today.
No, we didn't. It wasn't
Check
on
that.
the list.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the chips at all today. So, yeah, didn't get a chance to mention it. Obviously, yesterday where Intel failed, I think, is a short. But the other place to look off of is the afternoon resistance. At 20, it was like 24.4. I think that at a 24.5.
Oh, the market just dipped.
Yeah, the market just dipped. You know what? That's what it was. I think it was just that when the market dipped, some of the bids pulled, and when you see that happen on a level 2, like your first reaction is like, ooh.
Yeah,
what was that? Because you see the bud, you see the bid just go away. So with 1 minute to go, we've got, Tesla's not doing much of anything on that dip. I think it went about 70 cents to the downside. Not much action at all. Palantir, looking at 95s on Palantir. It doesn't have to get all the way down into 95. It's just obvious where the support was for the afternoon. So pre-market low sitting at 96. I think you got to be a little more flexible. I won 91s yesterday and it went to 92. So this time, you want 95s and it goes to 96. Got to try to be able to get that dip and rip. Market's coming back in, so unlike yesterday, there were some obvious opportunities where there was a dip and rip early on, and it was not easy to catch them. Today, maybe a little bit of a different story, although I feel like there's going to be a lot of people trying to do the same thing. So let's get that camera off me. Let's go over to Adair. It is Tuesday. Can't call it Turnaround Tuesday, but the bell is still brought to you by Worksport, WKSP on the NASDAQ. Shout out to Worksport as we get this party started, Adair, in 2 and 1. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, Adair. Let's go. All right. So the casino is open, or the market, or whatever we want to call it. All right. Apple is bouncing a little bit off that 220, but again, the market's just open. Welcome. We did say that we were looking for a test back right into these levels, man, right into VWAP. Looks like we pretty much got there. We'll wait to see what winds up happening now as the market bouncing around. We thought that there could be an early play in Tesla. There's the dip down. We're still waiting. Yeah, we're still waiting for that 276, but you could get into yesterday's close if you like that level, 279 in change right now as the market giving a little bit back here. The other long that we had as one of our top play yesterday, and we'll look to see if we can get it here today again, is Amazon. And that is dropped into the 200 period as well. So yeah, a couple dips here early in this market.
Yeah, Tesla's the one that's moving down the most in here. Not really much happening over in Palantir. NVIDIA is a bit of a lot. Wow, NVIDIA is an absolute sleeper. And then DJT, remember DJT with that news, it's also not moving off the open. So it's really just Tesla that's putting in any work. It's trying to figure it out, but it's the only one really moving heavily off the open. I have Intel up. It's not doing anything whatsoever. As I said, DJT has yet to do anything distinct. So yeah, just a little bit of patience.
What is Tesla doing?
Well,
but it's having I've never seen a trade like this.
It's going nuts. The volatility on Tesla right now is absolutely insane. You've got,
I'm gonna try.
You're watching that tape. I'm seeing it print from 20s, then it's all the way at 90s. We'll see if it's I think it's going to hold 80 right now, actually.
I just missed it. I was trying to go long there too because I was well, now I'm in small here because I had to pay not a great price, over 281. But right here, all right.
Spread is wild.
I know, that's what I was saying. It was really, really weird there. This is a possible stop out. So 279 breaking, 279, somewhere around that level. We're going to get out of Tesla if it does break down. We do want to get a little bit more here on this name just in case. But here we go. This is where it starts to dance. I have no idea what's going to happen now.
I just got a 20 fill when I was seeing 60s.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The liquidity on this is nuts on Tesla. So let's wait. We're only long right here at 280. Oh, there it goes. I was going to say we're long at 280.70, only giving it down there to 279 and change. But there goes Tesla. Maybe we do test that level that we were thinking about early, 276 in change. So there it is, man. A small first trade fail right there on Tesla because it does break lower. And so we'll wait now for that 276 area or so for Tesla. We are now in also into Amazon as that came into 203. I'm going to wait to see what happens at 203 right now. The 50-period moving average right around here, 203.50. Give it to whatever that drip area was there, 203 and change. Remember, we've had a nice move in the NASDAQ the last couple of days. The sell-off could be here. Let's wait to see, though. Pick up some names that we like. That's the most important thing. So 203.50, we'll buy Amazon again. If it loses 203, then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Palantir's not doing any. Yeah, Tesla dips like that because it broke. Look, it lost that 280 area. Well, Sean already showed it to you, so I can slap the fail on it too. I could have scalped the dollar when it was giving you those fills, and sometimes maybe you just got to do that next time. But Palantir's at VWAP, it's dipping. I think patience here, because the way I saw Tesla go down, you want to make sure it does a real reverse. Intel's still looking like it's trying to go higher into a weak market, so we'll let it calm down. It's only at 30s. This can get into 40s or 50s before we take any shot at it. Palantir is still kind of a nothing burger. Not really much happening on DJT. And one last one, we really didn't mention OKLO on earnings. OKLO has a chance to go green here. Keep in mind, after earnings, to the downside, you saw on the aftermarket show, it wasn't very good for them. But if this can get green, it's got some squeeze potential for sure. And once again, it is in chip land, AMD that is leading strength. So I'm watching NVIDIA do absolutely nothing. And again, AMD is the strong one. I had written down 100 and I think I had 112 written. So we actually got nowhere to any dip levels. Maybe AMD is just going to be a clean break through 115. The stock is ridiculous.
Yeah, we've got, again, so we were too early and, not disciplined enough to stay away from Tesla, but we'll do better here with Amazon. As Amazon comes right into that level and we were able to buy and then get out of half as we're back up to 204. Right now, there goes Amazon right now, 50, 60 cents now in the money on AMZN. So here we go. Now we're starting to go on Amazon. We're at 19s. Oh my God, we just got missed there. No, we got picked up. Okay, so we just got picked up there at 19, 204.19 right there. That's the 50 period moving average. That's right where we're sitting. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher right now. Go Amazon. All right, so this is now erasing what we've done there on Tesla. So a nice move now upside on AMZN, man, as deliver those packages right now going upside. So it's a nice move there. AMZN, good job getting out of Tesla for sure, as that name just continues to drip down a little bit here into 276. We'll see if we can be patient enough for that one. But Neil, it's your first Dollar Club winner as opposed to the Dollar Club loser earlier there on Tesla. But there it is right now, back into the money with Amazon as it goes. So, it just goes to show you, we talk about being patient. Tesla didn't hit our level and we jumped in. Amazon, boom, right back into the low of the day. We're able to take that, a name that we liked. At the end of the day, man, you're going to swing and miss. And at least we were able to get that back right there with Amazon. So boom goes the dynamite. It's almost like that Tesla didn't exist, but it's coming right back in. We're getting more out now on Amazon. There it goes, man, now over that Dollar Club as we get back into day's high, AMZN.
Yeah, great look on AMZN. The market's coming down, though, so there's still some things that are coming into dip buy territory. One of them being Bitcoin, which is now, it got to 88 and then pulled back. So it's at 87.5. Still looking at that pre-market low and or VWAP for a curl. As I said, this NASDAQ is starting to kind of lose the bid a little bit here. You're almost red on the NASDAQ as it pulls back into the volume-weighted average price. So a lot of that run-up that we had in the early morning and overnight is starting to get faded in. Palantir's not giving us anything, though. I'm still looking for 96s first and 95. You know what? At this point, it's already been 5 minutes. That first pickup where you get the dip and rip.
Tesla's back.
Yeah, you want that to come in there and pick you up and go. Now that we're past the first 5, I think we'll be a little bit more patient and not just sit blindly on those bids. Right, Tesla's at 76. I got to go over to Intel because it's going the other way and it's almost at that 24.5. So I'm going to be patient, wait for us to get only now 50 cents lower on Palantir, but looking for the curl on Intel off of that resistance level from yesterday. Like the same VWAP that we had, that 24.5. Going to look for a little bit of a pop and fade. Market's starting to come back in here.
Yeah.
Tesla's at 75. Once it gets close to 73, I'm trying again.
Yeah, I'm trying right now. This is the level that we had written down. We'll try. We're long right here right now at 276.30s. So let's see what winds up happening. We just got some 50s out there. Let's see what winds up happening now. Hopefully we can climb up just a little bit higher, even back to 277 and change would be pretty good. And it's now $1.30 in the money on Amazon, so that name is definitely starting to, thank you, Sharif, that name is starting to get going there as well, Amazon, but it's Tesla right now that's a little stressed. We just got a couple outs there, but it's fallen back in nicely. There it goes, man. Look at that, right there at the top of the day for Amazon. It's carrying the day for me, but it's this Tesla that we just continue to try to play that dip, and right now, there it goes, down 1%, TSLA. So, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Amazon and Tesla, getting some more out on the top side here for Amazon, I think is a good idea, up at 205. So there it goes, man, $1.30 now in on Amazon. Palantir long, 96, okay. So I was
trying to go 96s. Oh.
Okay, go to Adara. Okay, yeah, let's go see what's up with Adara.
As we have here some different moves in some of the other tickers, a nice push to the upside for some of these small caps, including Seattle Mobile. This one is traded higher pretty frequently. It's a pretty frequent small cap runner with a float of just over 3 million shares, about 3.14 million shares. We have a short float of around 31% and a catalyst this morning announcing they've entered into agreement with Free Rhino Studios with regards to some R&D initiatives. So Seattle Mobile with a catalyst, a large short float, and a small float. Back to you.
Oh man, now we have $1 finally on Tesla. Is that starting to go? Well, it just bounced off 277 again. So I don't know, man. This is just wild. If this breaks 275, we'll get out a little bit lower than that. But we're starting to just sort of count our blessings here with Tesla and start to get a little bit out here. Hopefully we can rip back up, and that will be that next out right there. Then we'll wait for see if we can take out 277. So here it goes. There's the dollar club. Back-to-back jacks right now. Dollar on $1.10. A little bit more. Now $1.70 here on Tesla. Back to the upside. So let's go, man. There it is. Boom, Tesla. We'll see if we can get it all back right here on this one play. Bouncing off again, the level that we wrote down, 276. Let's see if it holds.
Yeah, it was so close. I just missed my ad on Palantir right at that 76 level. Sorry, 96 level. You said 76, so I said 76. It happens. So we got 96 half. When I didn't get filled at 96, I just took more on the way back to the upside, more or less at the same price, but you're still failing VWAP here at 97 quarters on PLTR, as it is absolutely trying to go. IBIT's the other long that we just tried to pick up here off of VWAP, essentially 87,500 on Bitcoin as IBIT pulls back. Nice bottom of the range from yesterday where the stock started going, so looking for the same thing, some continuation. The NASDAQ just wicked the pre-market resistance or support level and started to come back into the upside. So you're starting to resume some strength here in the NASDAQ. Might have to nibble in the 49.8 range if we're not going to get the 49.7s here on IBIT. So Palantir is clearing out 97.20, has a decent chance to get to that high at 98. I want to see if I can grab the 98 out and continue to buy those dips, but trying to get into IBIT first. And yeah, there's a lot that we haven't looked at. Sorry, guys. I know we didn't say anything about the chips. Kind of an omission there. SMCI absolutely blowing it out right now and looking incredibly strong. So big breakout on SMCI. It wasn't necessarily on the radar, but got to acknowledge what else is happening. You're starting to look very squeezish on SMCI. So let's go longs because don't have any shorts.
No, we were able to just get $2 and change there on Tesla. We just got out there on Tesla, by the way, 278. Right, 277.85. As we're trying to play some of the, like right now, I can see it's like trying to slow down a little bit. So if we can get a pop up there now, maybe we should. See, here comes right back in again. So start to get some out as the market just made a move higher, and you can see what Tesla's doing, reverting back in. So we have less than half of this position back on. We were talking about sort of, you know, being lucky to see where this stock had gone for us right there, considering that the market was doing this and Tesla getting some profit takers in there today. I would look for a 275 break. Like if it breaks back down below that, you got to have your targets somewhere in that area to stop out. I would think, up to you guys, of course, we've been wrong many times before, but if it does break 275, we're going to give it a little bit of leg room, and then that's it, like maybe 50 cents to the downside, because we don't need our day to turn around too much here. We've already lost on Tesla, and there it is, man. Amazon right back there. So we're taking out days high right now on Amazon, up $1.40. It was the number one, the number one name is Tesla on here. We'll see if it can hold. I think it can. And then Amazon. So we'll wait to see here now, $2, $1.50 or so. Taking out now 205. We're long right there at the low of the day. Oh, wow, Neil, there it goes. Monster. I mean, I hope Palantir's going as well. Monster move there for Amazon. It's now $2 pretty much. If it can go, we'll have to wait though. $1.70 now in the money as we just get some out there at 205.15s there on Amazon. But it's Tesla right now that there it goes, just breaks. So we didn't even give it 50 cents, we gave it 74 cents. Breaking right there out, so we get stopped out there at 83s. So Tesla will still be the L, but you know, we did try that. I know it's coming into your level soon now. It's well, 273.
That's where the focus is right now. And just a quick second, we said if Palantir got back up to 98 and did a curl at the pre-market high, I wanted to jump out. We'll still look to continue the bid. I don't need to buy at 96s anymore. If this gets all the way down to the low again, that's a different story. So we took the $1.20 on it, but let's move on because Tesla's right at that. It's getting into that afternoon support that we had. There hasn't been a single green candle. I already tried it once and failed at 280. Now it looks like you're pressing right back into this 70 to 73 zone. So this is the first look here this is the second look for me here on Tesla, but it's got to show some kind of a bid. Otherwise, I'm waiting. I don't want to wait until 70, ideally, but if it doesn't show any kind of a bottoming tail candle or I don't see something in the tape and strength, I'm not going to just jump in on a falling knife. I'm giving IBIT till 49.5, and Palantir, like I just said, we're probably not going to get back to 96. It's breaking 97. So Palantir might double tap 96 here. The market's coming in. I should be short Intel, but one thing at a time. And now Tesla's in our target range.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah. I mean, so
easy short.
It is all about being patient these days. That seems to be the right thing for sure. But we're going to give this one a little bit of room. If Tesla, I was just thinking about when and if it comes in there for Tesla. So there's the bounce off there. I'm looking at 270 or so at this time. I mean, we've seen Tesla make these moves. We've had $20 winners. We've never had $20 losers on board, and we could have had that if you sort of held all day here. It's down $10 basically from its open, 284 down to 274 right now. I was going to put in 267 or so as a stop as we look to buy some dips in this name again. But again, just looking at the same names doesn't make too much sense as the NASDAQ is right back into VWAP. So what about now looking to buy the NASDAQ? The market is just choppy, so I feel like we're pretty okay with it. The TQs really, though, it's choppy where we're at now. Looking at some levels, I think we got to get a little bit lower before we really do look at buying this market. Maybe $66 here on the TQQs. And then even if you take that, Phil, then you probably are hoping that we can get a hold back at yesterday's kind of afternoon lows. So for me, we still have a little ways to go before we start, layering into any of these trades. So there it is, man, the TQs. We'll wait to see what happens. 65 looks like maybe a good buy zone there for the TQQs. And then just a couple outs again on Amazon. I mean, looking to reload that possibly, but not until back in here. Actually, we just double touched a VWAP there and the 200 period or the 50 period. So good look right there for Amazon.
Yeah, it looks like that's holding up well for some strength. If you look at the rest of the Mag 7, well, let's get there in a quick little second. So we just bounced. I threw a 1 minute chart up so you guys could see this a little bit more cleanly. You just bounced off of 73, which was the top end of the target area for Tesla. Immediately found resistance just above 74, but looking to start the long in here. If we make a fresh low under 73, I'm out, and I'm waiting for $270. IBIT's holding steady, but over on in another Mag 7 name, well, yeah, those wicks on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is just trending to the downside. Let's just get rid of yesterday. You're now holding VWAP, lower highs, so the market, while trending down, it's not just Tesla that's looking weak. Even Palantir, which you saw a second ago, like Palantir goes right into that pre-market high. It's back at 96, or at least close enough to it. Let's let this settle down a little bit. It looks like it could still hold on to that 96. Got IBIT, which is kind of going sideways, and Tesla, which while we scalp some out, it looks like it might be headed for another low. So I just reloaded in front of 73. Let's see if it holds a second time on Tesla. Or we could be out of this one a second time here as we got the reload. Didn't have to reload it, but we did do it. Let's see if this one's going to hold that bottom. Oh, and thank goodness I didn't short Intel. For reasons unknown, Intel's up 2%.
Yeah, good. And I guess there goes Tesla. So, it's thankfully we've got Amazon on board there as Tesla there just goes through that 273. And, I'm waiting for 270. We'll give that a go if it does get in there. Yeah, good look there on Intel. Yeah, let's look at NVIDIA quickly. And if there's any other names in there, we'll look at Dat Chat and all that. Yeah, so NVIDIA right now down into 119. I'm not super interested in that level right now. I mean, we're underneath everything. If anything, today looks like a sell day, right? In this market, I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything that we're looking at. I mean, sure. I don't know how we did it again. It's just, there goes Amazon. Like in what I was just saying, like there's all these weak names. Amazon is at day's high. So, for that trade, we'll be like, that's a good one. And that's what's keeping us like, just at, or we're still below water here because of Tesla, but this trade right now is really starting to print out for us. You know, we take out the majority of it when it gets back to day's high, but right there, nice move higher on this one. We still have about 15% of our Amazon, so we'll wait to see that. Let's see what DAT's chat is doing right now. 351, so congratulations there, Tisha Ayal, for DAT chat as that continues to go upside, man. 380 and still going there. DAT chat, I mean, 380 the high, pulled back in nicely. We've already talked about the 50 period, man. We talked about it there, and it just hit again, the 50 period moving average on DAT chat, and then just another quick look that we looked at earlier, Big Bear AI. So 380, that looks like has been the top. Once you break the 200 period moving average, I would say you got to leave it alone now and wait to see where it does find some support, maybe down there at 350. Yeah, there goes Tesla, man. We did good. We did good the first spot, and then this spot we were able to get some out, but then there it drops right back in for Tesla, coming into 270 right now pretty quickly. We'll see about a hold down there at 270, but it's coming in. I just want to make sure where my bids are. Yeah, 270 and then 269 and change, but here it comes. Tesla, what's up, Adara?
I hear on DM Desktop Metal about a 15% short float. They announced that the Delaware Court of Chancery has ordered Nano Dimension to complete its proposed merger of the company. So Desktop Metal's proposed merger now apparently ordered to be approved, or I guess Nano Dimension has to complete this merger here of Desktop Metal. So keep an eye on this one. Also, as the market drops, I think it is worth noting too that we're seeing here reports that Moody's, the credit rating agency, has said that the American fiscal strength, or the fiscal strength in the U.S., has deteriorated further since the rating agency assigned a negative outlook earlier. So basically, Moody's saying America's credit rating not great, or their rating for it is looking like it's continuing to decline. In about 10 minutes here at 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be getting some economic data, including CB consumer confidence, as well as some new home sales. So keep an eye on 10 a.m. More economic data to come. Back to you.
All right, yeah.
Thank you very much, Adair. Just so you know, Palantir, there was nothing at 96. Like, it just blew through 96 and went to 95.5. Like, it did not stop, did not pass go. Well, I guess technically it passed go because go was that level. But I still want to see it hold to 95, which was the absolute bottom. This is not what we thought was going to happen, but here we are. The other name that's absolutely flying, oh, come on, Intel. Look away for 2 seconds. Anyways, Intel was 24.75 where it failed at the open. Looks like it's just turned at that same price. Maybe we get a second salvo with that. But when it was markets tanking, sometimes you want to be patient, a little too patient with the short on Intel. So it goes to that 3/4 mark and pulling right back in here heavily. Palantir, now it's back above 96. So maybe it'll do something more calm, where it just holds a nice little higher low above 95, and you don't have to worry about the 95 level at all. So it's still this and Tesla that are on watch. Tesla, I mean, it breaks 73, does not, you think at that point you're going to 70s, does not get there, and suddenly it's got a decent bid on it, on Tesla. But NVIDIA is still at the low of the day. The NASDAQ just turned red. I mean, your strength is over in the other Mag 7 names, like Apple's up 0.5% and looking, I'd say, decently strong. It's not breaking out those highs. Meta is risking losing VWAP, so it's kind of diddling in the middle over there on Meta. So I'm going to stay with IBIT, Palantir, Tesla, the ones that I have on watch, and not going to jump away from that. Although I do also have DJT up. DJT was, for me, a fade at 25. It instead faded off 24. Adara?
Keep an eye on MULN here. I'm not seeing any news on this one, but we do have about a 51% short. This penny stock here looking pretty strong. So keep an eye on MULN. Some of their smaller cap names that could be on watch in this auto space include, Rivian, Lucid, this type of play. So MULN, though, pushing nicely to the upside. A little bit removed here from these pre-market highs. Back to you.
You too.
All right, yeah, Mullen. I was just looking, we'll look at Mullen in a second because, yeah, the volume apparently is going off the chains right there. So we wrote down Apple 220 long, so I put a bid down there at 220.05, right? And so then I was looking at my sticky note and saying, like, what did we miss, right? I mean, we got Amazon, we've got Tesla on here, so then I was like, let's look at Apple. So then I looked at Apple and I said, wait a second, we did go down to 220. We went to 220.07 right there, so we actually wind up missing that. It has the low as 220.04. I'm bidding 220.05 right now on the NASDAQ gateway. So we, again, just looking at Amazon, looking at Tesla, missed Apple's strength into a relatively weak market. So just wanted to bring that up because we will be looking at Apple now. Any dip buys into some of these levels right there as well. for Apple buy opportunities down to 221. Again, DATS is just ripping right now. So we brought you guys this in our ear when DATS was down here at 230. So there it goes, man. DATS chat all the way up to $4 and still going, man. Again, another name brought to you by Trader TV Live. We had that for you first for sure because we were talking about it down here at 240. So nice move, nice retracement back into the 50 period again, and then there goes Dat Chat right now, taking out some beautiful levels there as Dat Chat continues to go a little bit higher. So, just looking at the TQs, we'll see if we can get a drip down into some of those levels. It came pretty close, man. I was, again, on this one, I'm waiting at 65.60, so if that comes in, we'll see about a bid there on the Qs into yesterday's levels. But, yeah, so good move there on DATS. Big Bear AI coming back inside a little bit. Tesla, Amazon, Palantir. I don't know. Our notes are seeming to look very, very similar these days. I got Tesla, Amazon, Apple, DJT, and Palantir. So we'll wait to see what one. Oh, DJT we didn't look at.
No, well, it faded, but it faded off 24 instead of 25 because that's how it rolls. 24 being the current high of the day or at least adjacent to it. IBIT's still trying to go, but it's at 87.5, and that's going to be VWAP. So I just tried to pick it up when it wicked the pre-market lows, but was unable to get more shares. I'm offering 75s and 80s, and we'll see if we can get another dip. But Palantir is going to be the miss because it wicked that 96 level and wasn't able to get back in on the way through to the upside here on Palantir. And it's looking somewhat relatively strong again. So it was tanking just like Tesla was, but a nice recovery. It's above that 95 level where all the buying happened pretty much the majority of the day off of 95. Just couldn't quite get down there. It's not above VWAP yet. And if it's not above VWAP, then I'm looking for support off the lows. So either we get the lows or we get a 96 bounce, and we'll play that on PLTR. You're starting to see better signs of a bottom here on Tesla, and we should not be sleeping on AMD either. The scary thing for AMD is, it failed the high, just almost exactly, and now it's holding underneath VWAP. So I want to let this play out after the opening range. If it's above VWAP, great. I think you go for resumption, but fail of the pre-market high and holding under VWAP in the open range, to me, is usually a short trade setup. So we're still into IBIT and trying to hold on to see if that can get back to 50 where it broke out yesterday. And let's see if Palantir wants to oblige us with an entry, because I want to get back into this name. Tesla doesn't bounce where we want it to, and Palantir kind of did, and we're not in it again. So got to try to get back into Palantir, but I don't want to chase this move just yet.
I mean, Palantir is just another one of those names here that we miss, again, because we wrote down 95. We're bidding 95.25. It comes into 95.50.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it's just easy, man. And, hey, shout out to Sam there, wants to know why we're trading the same names. Look, man, I'm always trading. You can go back 10 years, always the big cap names, or since we started the show. So I'm going to stick with what's been working, and I just suggest everybody do the same thing. And so that's what I'm doing, and that's always been the thing. So we're just going to keep doing that. So Palantir 95.50. It's a name that we wrote down, so we'll have to do that. JP Morgan, I'm now bidding down there. I'm still at 95.25, but we miss it by 25 cents. JP Morgan, we talked about that falling off 250, right? I mean, it got to that level there early, and then there's the drop down for JPM. So, yeah, that move looks like it's going lower as well. Look at the NASDAQ, right, starting to go. The ES right now, similar, actually, a very good bottom in both of these names, 5,800 and then 20,350. So, yeah, some good levels there as we get back to VWAP right now on the SPY, but well above right now on the NASDAQ. So, interesting there. Maybe the spiders is a short here as opposed to the NASDAQ being one all the way up there. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm only long on Amazon right now, so Tesla's still battling that 273. And again, I know we're not really into too many trades. There's Amazon right now, nice upside play. So I just want to make sure that we don't have too many offers up. We don't have any offers up. So let's get something out right now at 23. So here we go. Will it print us? Yes, it does. So there we go. We get the 23s out right there now, $1.70 on that name. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. Yeah, we did look at DJT before, and it was at 23. Oh, did it just tank now?
No, well, not just now. I mean, off of the 24 level, it tanked.
Yeah.
I got out of IBIT in front of yesterday. It's not the lows yesterday. but it's the double bottom for the majority of the afternoon, and that's 49.9. Looking for another dip buy right back into that 49.5. So looking to play the range one more time over here in IBIT. So the resistance now, it's about 87.7 if you're looking at Bitcoin in particular, but IBIT trying to go green, and we'll see if we can oblige it. Palantir still absolutely, I mean, it's holding above VWAP. I shouldn't say flying because it's not flying. And Tesla, yeah, now Tesla's going to make that curl. So it comes in, it's now broken trend. Let's see how much it wants to sustain it. The market is a heck of a lot stronger than that. And I'm going to go out over to notice at AMD. If the market gets through the highs without AMD breaking VWAP, I hate AMD. I'd hate for AMD to be a short. That'd be incredibly disappointing. And then the new one on the list is Mullen's volume is legit. It's 100 million shares, and it's up 100%. So if we've seen these ones go, and remember, Mullen, they reverse split a bajillion times, and you lose all your value. This is only ever a trade. It's not an investment. All the usual caveat stuff. But it's breaking through some big levels here. At the $0.50 and room to about 60. So I'm looking for the bid to pick up at the $0.50 and see if I can. It already did a dip buy into this range already. So I think looking for the dip buy into 47, that's great if you can get it, and we'll see if it can hold. But yeah, as long as this one holds trend, the volume's so good, you'll be able to take multiple swings at this on Mullen. As I said, room to 60 cents. Sign me up if it can hold these higher lows.
NVIDIA. Oh,
NVIDIA's
man.
still.
I don't really want to short NVIDIA.
NVIDIA's still down 1.5%. It's
I
not,
know. That's what I was looking at. And that's why I was like,
it's not that good.
I don't really want to short that name.
Even AMD's not that good.
Tesla's really starting to go back upside there. I mean, we'll wind up being red on this name. But, oh, man, good bottom there. I mean, we last tried it here at 275, 276. So, yeah, we'll wait
Hold
there.
it.
Nice curl off the bottom there for Tesla.
Oh, it's still on me, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. Nah, whatever. Yeah, we'll just go over to Adair.
Let's go to happening. I didn't even realize.
Just a couple seconds here until we get new home sales units, and then also the change that we're now also get CB consumer confidence. So new home sales units, 676,000 versus 680,000 expected, so a little bit lower than the forecast. CB consumer confidence also lower than the forecast, 92.9 versus 94 expected. Richmond Fed Composite Index, -4 versus +1 expected. New home sales change month over month, 1.8% versus 3.5% expected. So all these metrics here coming in a little bit lower than expectations. And here is the NASDAQ pushing lower in response. Once again, here we're in a little bit of this continued downtrend, tried to break out of it, but with this numbers, we get a bit of a fluctuation and that continued push lower. Here's META. This is one ticker that's actually remained pretty strong here. As the rest of the market kind of fluctuates a little bit, META was on watch here with a catalyst involving the EU. They're actually going to be having a paid subscription option for Instagram and Facebook in the EU just to comply with regulations. Here's TSLA actually trying to find a little bit of support here, but certainly dropping after a really stunning session yesterday. They had a positive note from Piper Sandler this morning, but their EU sales in February very much down on a year-over-year basis. Back to you.
Right. Was just looking to see what was going on there, watching out for this market. I actually missed what that number was there. It's not even on Benzinga. So, all right, but just waiting to see here because we were able to get a great price there on Amazon, man, 205.80s. Like, so now the market wants to just basically fade right back in. So the next trade that I think it'll most likely trigger for me, if it does come in, was Palantir. But I'm still waiting for this to back down sub 96 to see if we get involved. So that could be the trade. Tesla, we were just sort of touting that it was on its way back up, and then there it comes right back into some levels. So Crimea River, but if you want the long and you think you missed it, you didn't, because it's right here, right now. So money where your mouth is if you like it. I'm waiting lower than this, and I might even be waiting even too early on this as well. I'm waiting just at 270. Let's see if this can get down to about another $1.50 before we buy it. But Tesla right there, just straight downside. Oh, USA Richmond Fed Manufacturing. So there it is right there. I see it on the chat right now. -4. I don't know why Benzinga just has this now at 10.02 because I did hear Adara with it.
Little late.
-4 versus 8. right there. So not good, man. Michigan manufacturing, U.S. Richmond manufacturing, -4 versus 8. U.S. new home sales, 676 versus 682. So new home sales down as well versus expected. So yeah, the market, you know, potentially making those dips right now, looking to maybe get some longs. I still believe in what we're doing here, so I do want to try to buy some Tesla off that. But again, like without being too stubborn, I think we've done well trying to wait for that to come through. Here comes the NASDAQ. It's going to turn red right now. So there it is. It just goes red right now on the NQs. So again, Tesla down, NASDAQ down, TQs looking to go down as well. And again, the TQs is just the market, but triple levered. Apple, though, kind of like, nah. You know, we'll go down a little bit. We're not thinking about going red yet, though. So Apple, dip buy opportunities down here galore. So I do have some buys on Apple down. I guess I can cancel my 220.05s since that's not coming through. 202s. 202, no, that's Amazon, sorry. Apple 201.40s, 221.40s. So that's right where VWAP is. So if we get a dip down into that, then we'll giddy up on there. So yeah, that's what we're doing, just looking for some dip buys. Amazon's pulling back as well. So we'll see if there's a bouncing spot here soon for the NASDAQ as we get right back to day's low one more time. We've bounced off here before.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
doesn't mean we will.
The NASDAQ is dead flat. Like, as you said, it's absolutely dead flat. Like, it's one of those types of days where it broke out in the pre-market, and really, we're just inside of the range still. It looks like we could still hold the bottom, and if we do, hey, giddy up to some of the longs. Now, logically, Tesla bleeds downside, so why wouldn't Mullen be strong? Whatever the story is in Mullen, it doesn't particularly matter to me. But if we lose, I just had 48s. I still have some 48s. We're able to get 2/3 of it out. If we lose that 47 level, which it dipped into, then I'm out and I wait for VWAP on a stock like this. As long as it's running and as long as it's holding VWAP, don't mind being in it. Missed opportunity on Intel, but now this is breaking back above VWAP, so patience. Either I'm going to get this one at the highs or it's going to hold underneath the volume weighted average price. And as we preach patience, here comes Palantir into that 96 again. It just did a bit of a bottoming tail candle here off the 96. So it looks like we may get a second crack at the 96 level on PLTR. Maybe nibble in the 20s before getting that absolute 96. So the only new trade is going to be Mullen. And like I said, it doesn't really matter what the story is. It's doing a lot of volume. So we're going to try and take advantage of it and trying to get back into Palantir. DATS is apparently still going as well. And the market back into green. So we just keep going red to green, red to green.
We were saying that was a good possible bounce area there, but we did something good. We reloaded right there at 204 or so for Amazon. It's coming back in now, but we were able to get some out at VWAP there in the 40s, and then I think a 48 or something like that there for Amazon. Randy, as the market goes up and the market goes down, we have one red name today, Tesla, as that's fallen right back in, down 2% right now for Tesla. We'll wait to see if we can pick something up. We're waiting for 270. Looks like it just bounced clean off the low of the day again there for Tesla, but that's okay because here we go, man. We'll props it up to anybody that was able to get something down there as we're starting to kick a little bit. I don't know if it's going to go upside or not, but we're excited there. Amazon, if Amazon does break, sort of I was thinking not even, I mean, that's pretty low for us there. I actually just put a stop order in at 203.50 if we break down there. I mean, I guess we can even wait for 203.20. Yeah, maybe let's change that a little bit, but there goes Amazon. Great reload opportunity down there. So we'll take this 40 cents and change and get going here on Amazon. If we retake the highs, oh boy, right there, AMZN, sticking with our guns there and putting this name right back there on the board. We just bought 204.14. So that's our reloaded level right there. So that's where we're in at, 40 cents upside. I'm going to start to get some out because I am a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, about this market. And I don't know, underneath the 50 period, just bounced there off VWAP. I'm going to get some out there. There we go. Some 48s. We got 48s. We'll get some 55s out, and then we'll just start to watch it out. It's really a missed opportunity again there on Tesla. It came right into the day's low again, and I was saying, like, if you want to put your money where your mouth is, it was time because we were like, oh, man, you might have missed the curl. And some people on the chat were like, there goes Tesla. Well, it just gave you that perfect reload opportunity. Hey, man, I'm happy to do it on Amazon for sure. But at the end of the day, Tesla was a good one. And as a percentage, man, you just got $2 on Tesla. So that's a nice move there, TSLA.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Tesla, but as we said, Palantir just came in. So Palantir
Did it? Okay.
Sorry, I muted myself to sneeze. It happens. So Palantir just dipped in and was able to pick that one up. And I was looking at Tesla, but Mullen now really starting to go. Remember, we dipped into 48 in front of 47. It's a 1.5 cents worth of risk. It's now at that 60-cent level, which my ability to believe in Mullen for anything more than a scalp trade is 0. So that's the 60 level in here off of the 50 breakout. So we got the move. I'll hold on to literally 5% for the dream, but that was the trade we're looking for. I had a trail. Stop was at 47. Trail was at 50. Now I'm just going to work off of like a trend line or give it to maybe 54 and just see how far this one can go, which I don't necessarily believe is more than a morning. And then after that, we'll let that one cook. So Mullen, like I said, when it does real volume, that's a good stock that you can trade. Palantir is the new one that we're into off the 96 hold, and we'll see if that can continue to put in some higher lows. So yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Regardless how the first 5 minute goes, there's always something else that you can sink your teeth into in this market. So you don't know what's going to go. We thought DJT would be a bit more active. Turns out Mullen, again, for reasons unknown, decides to want to go. And here's DJT, I guess still up 8%. But yeah, kind of chilling out at the lows. It's because it gapped up, that's why.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Yeah, good look there at Mullen. I mean, again, trade where the volume's at for sure. And just to answer Sam's question, like, you know, why are we trading Amazon? You know, why are we trading? There it is. Thank you, Adam, right there. Yeah, good call right there on the 200 MA. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? I mean, we have these lines for reasons. So it was a nice call right there. So nice move to the upside as we start to get some more out. Like I said, I'm nervous a little bit about the market. So, unlimited potential. No, I was saying it went up $2. Tesla did on that move to the bottom. So I don't know, as a percentage-wise, we did not make $2 because Tesla's $273. We only just made 60 cents or so on a $204 name. So Tesla was the better. We'll wait to see if Palantir can do something because that's only $96. But we'll wait to see what winds up happening because there's Tesla. Again, to get the very bottom, whatever. But let's just say you bought 272s and got out 274. That's pretty reasonable for $2. So I think that just would have been a great call. And I hope some of you were able to make that call. And also, man, the bottom call there on the TQ's good one as well. Let's go have a look at the chat of all dats. $5, $6. I mean, that's 250% from when we called this thing out at 8:45. There it goes, man. Dat chat up to $6, an absolute cruising there right into, again, like we were looking at this before. I was like, well, $3 pretty good. Oh, sorry, $3 was right there. $4, I guess you were thinking was pretty good. Now $5 into this area. Look at $6 right now for Dat Chat. And again, you know, if you knew that this was being released today, good on you, but that's a pretty random event there. Nice move up there for Dat Chat as it continues to go. Oh boy, here we go. We're getting a little more juicy right now on this Amazon. I'm waiting at 98s. Let's take some out here at 85. Just because. Great retracement there back up. We'll see if Palantir can get going as well. I'm not logged into any risk system, so I have no idea how everyone's going other than I'm looking at Palantir. So there's that. Meta. Oh, Meta was another name that we had on our watch list. Just wanted to see what that was doing. Yeah, I think Meta's, like I said, you know, new revenue stream. I think it's a pretty good all clear here. As long as the NASDAQ can just calm down, I think Meta's fine. It's one of the best names in the NASDAQ 100 in my opinion, and it just seems to be smooth sailing for Meta. I don't know. It wants to work. The Ray-Bans, the Oculus, everything. I think there's a little bit more runway here for Meta, especially given the fact that it was so... It's one thing about liking Meta up at the highs, which, again, once it gets up there, man, that's when everybody starts buying for some reason. So we'll wait to see if that winds up happening again.
Dips if you like the stock.
Exactly. So if you like the stock, you don't have to buy it when it's going up. We talked about it going up like 23 straight days or something like that. At the end of the day, like, that's tough to buy into there.
Oh, yeah, the streak.
But then the streak went the other way.
I forgot about
that. Yeah, we went right back into where the streak started. And then it came right back up downside again. So, yeah, just be careful with some of the trades. You can get carried away in some of the euphoria, that is for sure. But
speaking of not getting carried away in the euphoria, I just tapped out on Mullen back through. On a 3 minute, it did wick 70 cents on the way up. So I got out when it lost the 70-cent level. It then regained it, went to 72, and then really flushed. So regardless of how I played it, I would have gotten out here at that 70. So we're going to let it calm down a little bit. It's a little bit too parabolic for me. I don't even know, again, necessarily if there's anything that ever warrants it doing this, let alone now. So let's let it calm down. Maybe you get a reload off of VWAP or 50 cents, but just take the trade as it is from step by step. And as a reminder, there's 2 green candles since its last reverse split. This would be the 3rd one on the daily if it ends up green today. So suffice to say, Mullen is not a good stock. It's not, whatever. I don't need to rag on about it, but I'm not going to hold on to any trades past any rules of mine. Palantir came in at 96, lost a bid. I said if it loses the bid, I'll wait till 95. Didn't happen the first time. It does happen briefly for the second time. I'm not jumping back into it yet. Still above that 95, but it's red. If the market just got all the way back, the NASDAQ, I should say, just got all the way back to the highs, and Palantir is retesting the lows. So I really have to be asking myself, how much do I like this? We can say green because the first move was great, but it's all of a sudden not relatively strong. Clearly, market at highs, it's at lows. Do not need to be fighting this stock. See if we can find a reload in one of the small cap names. Mullen's on watch, and of course, I haven't been in DATS, but that bears watching. Tesla, I'm backing away from it till it shows a little more clarity. And then Intel was the other name that I've been looking at here. That just double tapped the high, but is yet to lose VWAP. So with market at the top, and this is losing the double top, now Intel looks like a much more compelling opportunity to short off of that resistance, because up until then, like I said, don't really know why it's incredibly strong. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me why Intel is strong in this market and doing more, but you got to respect it until it reverses that trend. So look for it to break down 24.35, or I'm going to short it off of those highs. MLGO apparently is going from yesterday, micro algo. Wow, this stock is ridiculous. Yeah, it's going to halt a bunch of times today. It's already halted twice. There's not a lot of liquidity on this thing, micro algo, but it is starting to squeeze again. Maybe put that one up on the radar. Right now I got Mullen, Palantir, Tesla, and Intel that are up on my watch. Not in any of them right now. I've moved away from IBIT as well because it's just stuck range bound.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, staying, as Neil mentioned there, staying green, on Palantir, important, obviously, as risk management, especially these days. And that's what I said, man, it's a tale of different stocks. Like, I was saying, like, let's see what happens with Amazon as opposed to Tesla. And then, another name in that bucket would be that Palantir. And look what Amazon just did. We just got $1 right there off the reload there for Amazon. So, $2 there, $2 and change from 203.50 up to 205.80 as the top. And then it just falls right back into our lap. And then boom, shakalaka, NBA Jam style, as we say around here. That just comes right back in. And then there it goes one more time for us on that name. So we like it. I like it. There it goes. Amazon straight up to the upside on the reload. What's up, Tia, there in the chat saying that she's following my trade. So that's good. Thank you for doing that. I hope it does continue to work out for us. We did say that we were out. Oh, Randy, hallelujah. Thank you so much, Randy, for that one as we get reloaded on Amazon and we get reloaded on coffee.
You have the option to like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside.
Thank you. Yes, it does have unlimited upside. Very handsome guy right there. Thank you, Joe, with that. How appropriate of a time to do that as we are long Amazon, Randy. And there it is, man. Good trade there to the upside. We've only traded 2 names today. Amazon and Tesla. And Tesla right now motoring back upside, almost green. We'll see if it can get back to the green side there. Tesla, what a nice, I guess, double bottom. We talked about that as it was coming in. I didn't have the balls sort of to stand in front of that, but that is what wound up happening. I was waiting at 270. There goes Tesla, 271.50, up $5. So we'll go 1 for 2 today. I think Neil's traded a few more names than me, Mullen in there. But as I said, I don't know. I'm just looking at these 2 for now. And then I did want to look at NVIDIA as well. We could check your Rivian, Randy, and have a quick look because there's always other names. All right, so nice move down as well for Rivian today. Still bouncing off that $12 level. That could be something that we look at later on today. But Rivian right now down into $12 could be a good buy. I'm focused on Tesla right now. Tesla, as we said, taking out 277 now and looks to get higher. So way to go, everybody, being able to hold that one. That was a tough trade. Tesla now back to 280. That would be interesting if it got back there. That's the 200 period.
That's the big level.
Yeah, place that I'd look to short for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a frustrating one there over there on Tesla. I don't know, like maybe you can always say like woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, for sure.
Might have been able to get it, but you never know. To me, at the time, it was a falling ship, and Mullen was a strong stock. It's like, what do you want to go long? Do you try something that's actually looking like it's going, and you do what you had to do? I ultimately think it could have been just as good in Tesla for sure off of that bottom. Right, Mullen, it's not catching a bit at that 60 level. 60 was the level on the 15-minute chart that we're initially taking the bulk out into and then holding the rest for the dream. Like the real play was 48 into the 60 level. So looking for 60 to hold or VWAP to hold. As you can see, 60's not. So I guess we're going to go to the volume weighted average price. Market goes to the high. Intel losing it at VWAP. I wanted to give it a chance to press back into that top. If it doesn't, and the market goes back in, I'm going to look for it to break down under VWAP here. So I haven't shorted anything yet today. Intel looking like it wants to be the first thing that we go short into. As pointed out there by Sam on the chat, NVIDIA can't get above 120. So you're seeing some of the chip names show some weakness. AMD, which was, I mean, AMD was the strongest chip name in the market yesterday. By far. Wow. This is holding VWAP. You know what? AMD might be a better short. Why am I looking at Intel? No, AMD looks better. It's underneath VWAP. Intel's actually up on the day. No, I should be looking at AMD short. So switch gears. That's why you make sure you check all of the names that are in your bucket. This is a fail of the high of the day. And it's underneath yesterday's top as well where it failed. And it's trending down into a strong market. So I should be looking to short this instead of Intel. So I'm going to pop an offer in the high 60s. VWAP here at 70-ish. And then 80 resistance, or just above 113.80 resistance on AMD. That's why you go over all the names. You never know which is going to look better.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with looking through. I mean, we have different alerts going on. Like right now, Broadcom. We can see what that's triggering right now. Broadcom 190. Well, Micron didn't have the great report. I mean, I thought the report was okay, but the market didn't like it. Yeah, there's Broadcom gapping down a little bit as well right there. The market just went basically top. These are brought to you by eSignal, by the way, what I'm showing you right there. It's WorkSport on our screen right now. Scan that QR code for sure. But there's the market. We just went bottom, and we were like, yeah, the Qs is probably a good long down here. Look, glad we took Amazon. There's no doubt about that. But the market would have been real nice as well as we just went up 30 handles. Actually, we're not talking about 70 handles right there, right back into day's high again. What's up? Brandon wanted this, so we'll do that. See if we get it to do something. Look at Broadcom. Actually, yeah, it's telling it to do something down there. So what's up, Brandon? There you go, man. We said we would do that for you, so we did. All right, Adara's back over at the screen. Let's go.
Here's the IWM. Kind of consolidating here near some of these highs from yesterday, but also, I guess, now near this day's low. We're kind of oscillating around here. Let's see if we're able to take out this pre-market low, which we're currently trading near. It's down about 0.5%, sorry, for the IWM. A bit of a topping tail candle to start that session. Looks like we're having some issues here with the remote, but we do have POAI on watch. That's predictive oncology. That's going to be one to keep an eye on. This is on the watch list as well. And they did announce some results from some studies they had done there for the treatments of different diseases at the University of Michigan, their Life Sciences Institute. Keep an eye on BON as well, but 1.5 million share float. They were a small cap runner from a couple weeks ago. No new catalyst. Also a penny stock alongside Mullen, MULN, another penny stock. As mentioned earlier, there's Euro Catalyst that I could find on this ticker. But again, smaller name, lots of retail attention, and a 50% short float. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Mullen short flow isn't higher than that. It's probably the easiest for hedge funds to punk. Like that stock is essentially free money for hedgies to short, and they're just destroying it over and over and over again because that's what they do. I did find something, found something that's still looking strong that was on the list. I was in IBIT. I took it out under pre-market. Well, it was like prior pre-market highs, but also yesterday's support levels at 49.9 on IBIT, 87.6, 87.7 here on Bitcoin. But it's making higher lows, and it's above VWAP. So if we come to the chart for a second, yeah, let's buy some dips in IBIT, go back to that well. Now, when this was making the local bottom in there, I was trying to trade Tesla again and Palantir, so I did miss an entry off that bottom. That's going to happen to you. Obviously, I wish I'd bought that dip more aggressively instead of trying Tesla, but you can't rewind time. So nice higher lows. I like VWAP in here for IBIT. That's about 49.75, but the support's actually been higher low at 65. So I think you got to, like, I like VWAP, but it double tapped 10 cents underneath VWAP. So you try to grab the fills underneath there. Still going to short AMD if we get our shot at it underneath VWAP. And as I said, Mullen, let's be patient with it. It just bounced and holding 60, but I don't know. I still feel like this could be headed for a test of VWAP, which is now pretty much exactly at the breakout price of 50 cents. So you're going to fall into 50, and that's the next place I will look to trade it and try to be a little bit patient on that name. We're now at 10.20, so you want to calm down a little bit here. DJT still a nothing burger. And yeah, there was one other name that was on the watch list that we expected to have some volatility with it, and that was Mobileye. And Mobileye, well, if Tesla got punked, Mobileye also got dumped. What I like about it, and it's not really what I like, I don't like it because it's bad for the stock, the cleanest rejection you're going to see off the 200 period at the high, and now all of a sudden it's finding support at the 50 period temporarily at 16. So if it loses this area here, that'd be losing the 200 period moving average at the top, and it would be losing the 50 period on the daily down here. So I think this could retrace the entirety of the move and worth waiting for. So Mullen's still waiting for a dip. Tesla's actually holding VWAP. You got to be kidding me. And then IBIT I'd like to get back into. So we're going to get over to, sorry, I didn't catch that, Remy. We're going to try to get IBIT off of VWAP. We're looking for 50 cents and VWAP as well on our good friend Mullen. But hey, we got something else for you guys. It is Trade the Pool. They are back, and our friends are right back on the program. Trade the Pool is a game-changing platform that caps your risk while giving you the opportunity to trade real shares using company capital. And that means no more risking your savings. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited trading period during the evaluation phase. No pressure, no rushing. Take your time, perfect your strategy, and get funded on your own terms. Remember, your losses are capped at a one-time evaluation fee, and your profits are unlimited. Head to tradethepool.com and start trading now. Shout out to Trade the Pool. Shout out to Mitch, who we had on this morning from Trade the Pool for his fantastic insights. Again, trading on prop gives you the advantage of leverage, and trading other people's money is, let's be real, it's easier than trading your own. Like I said, well, it's true, Sharif. So looking for the dip into VWAP on IBIT. Want to be able to give it to 49.65, even though VWAP's at the 3/4 mark, and still waiting on Mullen to do something as well.
Man, if it's this hard to trade with other people's money, man, I'd hate to trade with my own. That is for sure. But again, follow Trade the Pool. That's why you guys are here. So make sure, grab our watch list. And I hope we're giving you some decent ideas right now. Okay, well, we have a new idea, SMCI. We'll see if we can get this one coming through one more time. This is the first time we've been in this name. Down on the day, obviously there today. We don't want to necessarily fight trends, but it is at the low, and I was thinking about a 41 hold. So, you know, just looking a little bit bigger of a time frame there. Yesterday, right at the close, we did have a dip down. Actually, that's not at the close. That was yesterday where we held before we had that move back up to 42. So we had held back in and around here, 41. Seems like there could be some support. I mean, I know we're kind of drawing at straws because once we broke down pretty good and got down into 40. So I think that that's going to be a much better long, like, if we do break and get into there. But I just wanted to see about a hold now. We're at 41.60, so some of these lows right there, I mean, we could look at a day chart, a minute chart, whatever chart you want, but right into here, there's 41, 41.20. So this is what I was looking at from yesterday, sorry. That was a dip down early, but it was these kind of holds right into these levels right now. So we'll try it again, downside right now. If it gets down into here, we get some more against 41. And then I put the stop in there, breaking of 41. So that would be that, down to the downside again there. So we'll watch out for 41, 41.40 or so coming into play there for SMCI. So I do have some targets. If we can get something out at 85, I mean, that's where the 200 period moving average is. So that's sort of my first target there to try to make that 20 cents. And then again, upside after that just continues to go. So we'll wait to see if there is going to be any love there. Next reload in the 40s, right at that low. And then we'll see if it breaks 41, then we get stopped out. And that is that. And we say, see ya to SMCI. There. All right. Alibaba is at a level as well. 134, 135 right now for Alibaba. A name that's red on the day, but it did have a nice climb up to that 136. And we're getting the scanner alert right here, as you can see from eSignal. Why? Because it's coming right into VWAP again. So there it is. You know, we have our scanners set up, and there it goes. VWAP. And we got, it's part of what triggered us for SMCI as well. But the market, if we continue to fade down, we may get that lower bid there on SMCI. And for some of you that are following on Amazon, we've been getting out. We have less than that 10% left. And now that the market is coming down, let's get another piece right here out on Amazon, which we just did there at 65. So we're starting to get less and less here. Not really concerned too much about it. But again, if we break 204, we might as well get out of Amazon. So just a little bit of a look there, looking forward. Amazon right now, looking like it wants to dip back in as this market, Neil, just continues to be that up and down sort of surprise market that we have right now. Like, doesn't want to go one way, doesn't want to go another. So we'll just have to wait to see where eventually we settle down, trying to pick the best trades here. And I'm going to do that with Amazon and get another piece out right now.
Yeah, that's what all you got to do, because the market's it's holding the high, it's not breaking it, and it's not pulling back off that high, that's for sure. So they just Mullen just ran through 50, did not break that 47 from earlier. It was, yeah, okay, there's a couple of bids, of the veracity of which I'm not certain about. One at 48.7, which I think is a bit fugazi. We'll see if they take the fill. When it gets on, they're taking the fill. So if we can hold 47, then that gives you the first step for a VWAP hold. But it's looking a little bit heavy underneath here. So that's what I'm watching right now. I'm looking up to make sure, okay, Palantir, it's still at 96. It's not really, Palantir's not getting to 95 at this point.
No.
Unfortunately. So I don't know if I'm just going to, anyways, you guys see what I'm trying to look for on Mullen. A little bit more calm here because you're on the way down. You want it to hold a higher low before re-entering it. But PLTR, yeah, it's now bouncing off of 95.8. So again, it breaks down under 96. I keep thinking this is the move. Now it's going to get to 95. But once again, higher low, holding 95.8. So this is it's kind of trying to break the trend here. And maybe the 96 level is just going to be the one for Palantir. It had a huge chop zone for the entirety of the afternoon down there. So there's some supply between 95 and 96. Maybe the entry isn't going to be back in at 95, and it does need to be the 96 level. So I'm going to go back to the well at the same price area for Palantir. Want to be patient, of course, with that Mullen trade that we're looking at in Tesla. Yeah, I mean, Tesla's now above VWAP and looking pretty strong. That was definitely a missed opportunity. All right, here comes Palantir dipping back in. If we can pick this up where the obvious 95.8 level is holding, then we'll try to grab that. DATS apparently is still doing crazy volume. If it wasn't for Mullen, I might be taking a more deeper look at DATS, but only one small capper at a time in my books.
Guys, we're doing it again. There goes SMCI. We just talked about this trade. So there it is, man. We just took that out at 84 there. So it's a nice move there. Well, that's where we were sitting, 85, sorry. Nice move up. We actually got 78. And there we go, Neil. Oh, my. Nice move up there for SMCI. Let's go. Beautiful trade here as it's starting to go back up to the upside. We're now waiting for 95s as the market is Rip City. It's $1 right there as well on Amazon. So, yeah, man, it seems like so long ago that we were messing around with Tesla, but it is working right now. There goes SMCI, my guy, through 42. Let's go and see if we can get that one. But yeah, we're excited again. And there we go, Sam and everybody else there in the chat about trading new names. There we go. New name, same result right there. And we put on another one. We'll see if we can get it going right now as the market breaks highs. But will it stay up here? Who knows? Might be a good time to sort of start to get out of a little bit of those. But yeah, we get excited. There it goes. A nice move up there for SMCI. Miss Adara.
Crypto continuing here to try to break the sustained downtrend we've really had since, I guess, oh, this is hims and hers. Let's take a look here. A little bit of technical difficulties there. Here's Bitcoin here's this downtrend. And as of right now, we've really tried to break out of it again. To recap, a little bit of a low here from a couple Tuesdays ago. I guess that Monday, March 10th sell-off, really, we start to kind of make this low. We have been in a bit of an uptrend in the resulting 2 weeks, but we still have that 90,000 resistance. We can't get above that. Yesterday's high here was just below 89,000. So let's see if we can get that 90,000 level. Then the next level we'd have to claim would be that area just below 93,000. Keep an eye on these crypto tickers right now. Some names like MSTR pulling back slightly from day's highs, but still breaking out and uptrends of their own. So lots of strength in crypto tickers and in Bitcoin in and of itself. But what about some of these other crypto-related plays? Bitcoin and Ethereum, according to Binance data, both roughly flat on the day. XRP down about 1%. BNB about flat, but Solana up about 3%. Same with Cardano, and Dogecoin up almost 5%. So some of these altcoins or other coins and tokens actually doing a little bit better than Bitcoin and Ethereum today, guys. Back to you.
I mean, from the open, Bitcoin's down, but yeah, it's a 24-hour market. So to ever say that it's up or down is kind of deceiving and almost nonsensical to a certain extent. So yeah, I get the sentiment. But Bitcoin's above VWAP, so it's still relatively strong in my books. I'm on the bid for it. I can tell you that Mullen is trying but failing desperately to get back above VWAP. I'm going to go double check if I paid for locates on Mullen, because if it loses this 50 for good, I think this is always capable of going back to where it started, which is all the way down at 35, 36 cents. So there's always a chance that we can get into Mullen to the south side, but I doubt that shorts are going to be free there. And I don't remember if I paid for locates. So I want VWAP here on IBIT, which it almost got to at 49.8. I'll probably nibble in here and try to get the high 70s instead of waiting all the way down there for 75 exactly. But I'm going to go pay for locates on that Mullen in case it gives up. Tesla is trying to lose VWAP. Palantir is still trying to hold that 96 level, which it's been back and forth at 96 for a while on Palantir. So I'm playing this range one more time, see if we can't get into VWAP. It's still down on the day, but where that supply zone from yesterday is holding, it still looks pretty good. So let's see if we can get back into IBIT. We're back into Palantir. AMD wants no part of letting us short at VWAP. AMD just continues. Actually just broke the low of the day.
Look at the market.
So that puts me back over to, well, I wanted that at VWAP, but the other backup was Intel. And Intel just crept back underneath. So the stop order is going back in to punch short if Intel breaks this little bit of a flat bottom at 24.34. That's only 5 cents away, so I think it's happening imminently on Intel. And the market just backed off the highs, and this is clearly rejecting its top several times here on Intel.
All right, we've been getting out. So SMCI just dropped in. We're long at 41.42s right now. This was sort of what we were talking about. Get it out. I mean, went to the 200 period and actually cleared through. So able to get some out there. Then we always wanted this reload at the low of the day. So right now, SMCI definitely in jeopardy. We will take a little bit out there. We'll take out, honestly, 20% there for 10, not even 10 cents, like 8 cents or so on that one. And as we'll wait to see, because the market fell in quite nicely there. There is runway back up to the 200 period again, 41.80s, 41.70s. But right now, SMCI is making a lower move. And again, like I haven't heard anything, but we do know that this space has been a little bit, as Neil was just looking at AMD there.
It's all
like
shit.
Not as excited lately, you know, like sure, it had good moves, but even just looking at NVIDIA, and I know this is probably going to crash once I do this, so I'll zoom in quickly there. But even NVIDIA, the last couple of days, been pretty sideways, pretty much since the 14th. We're at the 25th of March right now. You know, obviously we had moves up and down. There's no doubt we never got to 132, but we've had moves up or down there with some nice wick bottoms. But at the end of the day, we're still where we were. It's been relatively sideways. If you take away this, like if you take away these 3 days right there, this is where we're at, man, right now. You don't want to go all the way back there because we went to 140. But since earnings, this has been a pretty consistent area. So I don't know, man. If SMCI wants to go, we'll be here for it. Otherwise, you know, maybe not the right area. Oracle's printing up a little bit. I want to look at Uber, another name that we've been in and not, okay, there we go, SMCI, let's go. As the market gets right back up to the upside now, 15 cents in, but right there, Uber off the lows, another good one. We were buying low here at 63, 64s, but now it's nicely retracing back to the upside, bouncing off the 50 period moving average, let alone wherever that 200 period is. Nicely done there for Uber. Little worried about this name, as we know. Yeah, there it is there. So, but you know, we could be in worse names for sure. And then the most recent buy there, JP Morgan, as though that's, back to 250. I was going to say, although that bounced off 250 earlier this morning, got all the way back up. So maybe, again, nice move there for that one.
Was that wrong? Was that a golden cross on the daily of Uber? Or am I nuts?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but I never look at, like I said, the golden crosses are
I like to
a flawed thing for me.
No, I don't prescribe to that theory at all. I just think a lot of times it lets you know what's happening where other traders might be getting involved. I could be wrong. It did. Yeah, it's one of those golden cross, but actually, I mean, technically it worked. Well, if you had a golden cross on those lows in March, then yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
It's at a good level. When I looked at that chart, I'm like, ooh, that's at a very, very good level because 78. If we get there again today, that's a pretty good breakout spot for Uber. But anyways, we're still long mid-60s. It's so easy to look at stocks and want to think of ideas. We got to do our e-signal thing, but we just got out of some more SMCIs. It went into the 60s right there. So far, so good there. May not work out, but it's been good so far. All right, scan that QR code there below, and you can take advantage of 1 free month with e-signal. I mean, again, you're going to have to grab whatever entitlements, whatever market you're looking at, but that's one of the best things about this scanner. This program is their scanners and the fact that you can add any market data to your platform and start working immediately with 50 plus brokers. It has over 500 symbols at once, completely customizable. You know, we use the white charts here, but you can go any kind of background on there and really get going. Also, the tick replay to showing you like how to study properly for your charts. Take that exam today with eSignal and just, you know, API access, everything involved there, man. Go to school with the best charts. It's eSignal. Scan that QR code. Trade smarter, not harder. And I just think if you have something that you trust, it just makes it that much easier to look at. And again, consistent all over the place. Have it at home, have it here on the desk as well. Wow, Tesla. I was just saying, like, when we get back to 280, yeah, it's at 279 right now. Tesla's green, and Tesla's about to outpace the market easily right now as the NASDAQ goes right back up to the highs. Man, oh man, this stock is just burning right here. Like Tesla caught fire big time right now, straight up to the upside into 280. Wow, what a move off that bottom. I feel bad not having it for sure. We were looking at it, we talked about it, and I said, like, are we brave enough to take it? The answer was no. I'm glad that we have Amazon. I mean, Amazon, look, what am I supposed to do? I mean, let's celebrate the names that we have. And although SMCI isn't at a celebratory level right now for us, but Amazon sure is, as it goes right back there up to the day's high. This is one stock to be proud of for me because it was the early take off the sticky note, and then it was the strong reload right there, you know, like looking to find opportunities. This is why we just trade 2-3 names today, trying to find the best ones. It doesn't look like SMCI is going to be a very good one as the market right now taking out highs, and SMCI is just like, nah, my guy, I'm cool with what we're doing right now. So I'm going to take out a piece there at 32 for SMCI. That's an 8-cent hit. That's completely reasonable. Now it starts to come back up to the upside. Let's see if SMCI can work out for us. But right now, fighting the market, I'd rather puff pass on that one and just continue to put damage right back on the board, man. Amazon continues to get higher. That's the name we like. Come on, SMCI. Maybe we will take something out again at 47 if it gets up there. Yeah, let's take out 10% if we can get that. And we'll just say, you know what, maybe we'll buy that latte there and figure it out. But yeah, Tesla is such a great play there off those lows. Wow. Yeah, for it to get green is impressive. And shout out to you, Adam DeLuce, because you probably were thinking exactly what I was thinking. Well, we're hunting for it to be a long off 47. Just because it was a long off 47 the first time doesn't mean it's a long off it the second time. So that's what I wanted to happen. That's not what's happening. It broke down under VWAP. It looks like it's stair-stepping it. So I'm going to try and work in under 50. If we break 50 to the upside, then I'll get out and reassess at that point. So Palantir still dancing around the 96, but now looking for the short.
Baby.
We had to pay for shorts in this one, by the way, on Mullen, but they were dirt cheap. So let's go to Adara for Sector Watch.
Lots of green here coming into this board. Certainly not as much as we had yesterday with that nice push to the upside across the market. But utilities here to the downside, consumer non-durables to the downside, health technology mixed or to the downside with both Amgen and AbbVie, larger components in the sector, trading a little bit lower. Then we've got transportation, lots of right here for UPS. In terms of strength, it's a lot easier to find here. Finance up, retail trade with the exception of Walmart nicely to the upside, consumer services, energy minerals, and of course our tech sectors, AMD and NVIDIA, some of these chip names a little bit to the downside. Joe Tsai, chairman here of Alibaba, did warn about a potential bubble in the AI data center space. So NVIDIA, AMD a little bit weaker here, but great look for Apple to the upside, Meta nicely to the upside along with Netflix, CRM, and Google. So a lot of tech names are strong, but that doesn't mean there aren't some areas of weakness, specifically if we're talking semiconductors. Back to you.
The reason why they're down, but the comments were like basically what they were saying. Of course, he thinks it's a bubble in the U.S. because they're spending. He basically said they're spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and 500 million here and billions there, and we're spending 50. Basically, accusing the U.S. of overspending in their data center build-out. Fair enough. So if you think you have a competitive advantage, you're just going to talk your own book. So shout out to them. That's what you got to do. We've already broken out here on IBIT past that 50 level. There was no, since we put the bid in, there hasn't been a pullback. So all of a sudden it turns into what it was yesterday, which is hold the range above 50 into that 50-35 where it held all afternoon. There, it's hard not to look short. I said I'm going to look short at 50-35, which is like 88 something. Doesn't really matter on IBIT. So let's see if we can't get a long into it first and then worry about the short. So we're back in Palantir at the quarters. We're still into Mullen. And for the first time, well, not for the first time. We're right back at 280. So for the first time since we lost on it at the open, you are now pressing that 200 period moving average on Tesla. It feels a little bit like I just don't think it breaks it out. I'm not going to get all wax poetic about it. So that's about 280. It's like 282, 283. So somewhere in a break of the 280 level, I'd be looking for a fade on Tesla at this point. But for now, we're in Palantir, looking dip buy still on IBIT, and we're in short on Mullen because it lost VWAP. It hasn't pressed to get any fills in the 48.5 to 49 range, but I'd like to see it maybe give us a little bit more action. I'm only in at 46. I'd like to pick up a little bit more in front of VWAP on Mullen, as I suspect when a stock does this, oftentimes you can go all the way back into the low. Yesterday's high is a support at 34, so I think the out makes all the sense in the world in front of like 35, 36.
Thank you, Arif, there as well for the super chat. As you just mentioned there, you got long off the call there of Tesla. So congratulations there, man. Tesla, an absolute monster right now as it gets all the way back upside and is green for the day now. TSLA just continues to go. Congratulations. We'll always, say that. There it is, 280. I was like, man, maybe if we get to 280, we short that thing. I was not actually thinking that it was going to get back to 280, but it is going right now, 280.50 there for Tesla, starting to go. We did get some more out of SMCI. It went back up to 60, believe it or not, and then completely stopped up there. Amazon is now just at the day's high and getting higher. So we've just gotten more out, man. Now we have 5% left of Amazon. Amazon is the big one there today for me. We'll wait to see where it's going. Amazon. So again, just a few trades like that one. I think we'll short Tesla. I don't know, man. And we talked about doing it up here. Whether or not, we could just start. What? I got in and out there? Oh, I must have had a stop order. That must have just triggered. So we didn't get in or out and do anything right there. So we'll watch out for that, man. This stop, this is 280.16 there. We've got a 50 period right there as well at 280.05 or so. So maybe 280.50. If we blast above that, we have a good amount of shares. We don't have a good amount of shares. Well, we would if it gets back up there. So we do right now have about 1.5 units, maybe 2 units, just to see where we can go. So 279.75 or so. We'll see about getting that for Tesla. But there it goes, Neil, man. Fortune favors the bold. We do put a little bit on. And there it is, Neil. As quick as you like, Sharif. That's for you right there, as we now have a nice little 75-cent winner there on Tesla. 75 cents. Neil, Are you dressed appropriately? Yes, you are, because now we are in the dollar club right there for Tesla. Let's go, man. We just put that one on, and there it goes again, man. Tesla. There we go, man. All right, I'll pass it over to you. What's going on with you with Palantir? Because we just put $1 on the board right there for everybody on Tesla. Let's go.
Yeah, we just got our range bottom, and it's about to give it to us here on MULN. And Palantir, it's still holding 96s. I just reloaded it as it got up to 96.5, pull back in, right underneath that 95. It's like 95.80, which is support, so we just reloaded in front of there. We're going to continue to play this to the long side, and I got to go over to AMD very quickly because AMD, the market's pressing higher. AMD's finally going to get into VWAP for us. So we're about to get this one coming into VWAP for the first time since the early morning. And AMD was a rocket ship yesterday. Today, a little bit of a different story as the chips are weak. So we're in the money on Mullen. Palantir, we have our order out to get, I believe it's just underneath 96.3 first. And then we're going to work on VWAP for that trade. But here comes the market screaming to the upside. AMD's about to test VWAP for the first time here today. NVIDIA's at, NVIDIA's at 120. You're right. NVIDIA's at 121. Okay, let's back off that one. Let's wait patiently on AMD, see if we can't work Palantir and see how much higher it's going to give me here. Yeah, we kind of teased it this morning because 23andMe could be gone, and we'll be interested to see what that procedure is as we have our good friend from the OTC Markets joining us here. We've got Mr. Mendel himself. Jeff Mendel, head of broker-dealer sales at the OTC Markets. Jeff, how you doing, brother?
Well, you just want to talk about D-list? Come on. What the heck?
Well, you know what else? Well, you know what else we're going to talk about. We all know we want to talk about the aftermarket. We want to talk about OTC Moon. Everyone knows all that good stuff for sure because there's plenty of price action. I was showing it off actually just earlier in the week how some key price levels that you'll observe in the overnight session, especially on some Asian names, can be really, really important to your trading day. So, yeah, there's always that. But I joked about 23andMe because it does. Those stocks do volume when they go over for a day or two, and they're great trades.
So basically, what will happen is I don't even know. Is there a corporate action out there yet that says it's going to delist?
Well, they filed bankruptcy yesterday, and then I saw them as coming up as a delete for tomorrow on one of our notes. So whether it's official, I just noticed after the announcement that it looked like it was going to be deleted the next day or two.
So I'm looking at this right now. So basically what will happen is we will get in. So once this whole process starts, right, and there's an announcement that there's going to be a bankruptcy, right, we're always looking for notices from FINRA once a symbol will go from the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ and come down to us. There will be a notification that there's going to be a symbol change and it's going to start trading over the counter. And so when that happens, when we receive that, we enter the symbol into our system and we basically queue it up and ready to be trading and quoted the next day. And so that way, whenever, you log into your trading account, right? Whether it's at like Day Trade the World or Fidelity, Schwab, Robinhood, it's available, and you see a bid and an offer in there. As long as it's eligible to have a bid and an offer in there, it starts going through that process, and people can enter buy and sell orders, manage your position, add to it, get out of it. Basically, we just want to continue that continuity. We want to make it so that symbol keeps trading.
Yeah, and the continuity is definitely that's that key where it turns over. Now let's talk about something. OTC Moon, we always talk about the moves in the aftermarket and how important they can be, whether it's on earnings, whether it's when you had the election, that was a big opportunity out there. So can you tell me how things are going with that rollout over on your side with the aftermarket trading at Moon?
Yeah, so like SPY, NVIDIA, Tesla, symbols like that were first enabled back at the end of January. We had a handful of them, actually 100 plus, almost 200 names for trading for just over a month and a half. And then last week, we actually expanded to almost the entire listed universe. And so that means, the three names I mentioned, Tesla, NVIDIA, SPY, but then also Google, Apple, right? Any symbol that you are trading during the day on New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, virtually all of them are now available to trade on Moon. We have market makers that are connected, providing two-sided markets liquidity in a bunch of those names as well. And then we are getting firms. That provide access to retail. Right. We had a press release with Drive Wealth a couple weeks ago that they're ready to provide access to it. Well, you should start seeing some more that go out there. We want to make it so anyone can connect and trade if they if they have a retail trading account. Their brokers can connect to us, or their market maker can connect to us. And so we're going through that process. We have a good handful of trades going off, or a few dozen trades going off every night, and I expect that number to grow significantly over the next month as those firms start to connect. And so, and it goes back to, right, like those are the actual trades that are going off, but we have two-sided market making activity going on, and they're ready and waiting for those other firms to get in there and do that. And this takes time as well too, right? I mean, first of all, the regulatory process took time for us to file our Reg ATSN, which is a public filing. You can go on the SEC's website and check it out, how we actually operate it. And then also, just the technology part of it as well too, connectivity, then fixed testing, UAT, and then rolling over to production, getting clearing set up, making sure that all firms are getting the right information to be able to affect a trade overnight, and then make sure it clears and settles and goes into goes into the right accounts the next day. All this stuff takes time. We want to make sure that we do it right as well too. And so now we're at that point where, like, you can see the work paying off. And so keep an eye out there for Moon ATS, and yeah.
And so we're always able to look at, and we're just showing it there. Whenever we look at the OTC markets, we can always see like the most active names. Where's the volume going through? We get a lot of the, those overnight Asian markets where get the opportunity to trade it here in the session. So you see Tencent, and we know Fannie and Freddie will move around here on this side. Are there any trends that you've noticed, maybe particularly with Moon, as to where the activity on specific symbols might be? So we know, look, I know Tesla's going to be very active. I know NVIDIA is going to be very active. But are there any tendencies that you've noticed in Moon that we might not have thought of? Or is it just the regular names doing the relative volume?
So right now, right, I'm going to take a look at the entire overnight marketplace, right? And so, we're seeing consistent volume, across a few hundred names, trading probably in just over 1,000 different names. But then also a lot of it's news driven as well too. And then also think too, right? This is not just specific to Canada retail and North American retail, right? There's also the other side of the world as well too. And so it's really what stuff that's in the news, stuff that's trading during the day, ETFs. We also rolled out OTC overnight as well too. And so I think we're going to start to see more activity in a lot of ADRs, and then also symbols like Luck and Coffee and DD that don't have local listings, right, and trade primarily on OTC markets. You start to see names like that, and then Fannie Mae, right? Like, actually, let's take a look at Fannie Mae right now too. It's up almost 3%. I think yesterday it was up like 6 or 7%. This thing is now trading over $7. And I think it was here like a couple months ago as well too. And so it's like this is the name that it's all over the news right now with is the Trump administration going to push for it, or Doge going to push for it to be privatized, right? And so this is a name that's going to keep, kind of getting action, getting people trading. But then also, names like Tencent that we always mention, BYD, Louis Vuitton, Roche, Nestle, Adidas. Sean's fallen asleep.
Oh, hey, Jeff, how's it going? No, actually, I was listening to all that because I was going to do the same thing that you were just doing. I actually have Fannie Mae up right now, and I just wanted to show what it looks like on our gateway here. We got OTC and the Link Exchange right up here at the top of the market. So I wanted to say a lot of volume going through, over 4 or 5 million shares, and can do upwards of 20 to 50 million shares a day. So definitely always looking at Fannie and Freddie. And then your website, Jeff, is the one that I look at all the time, and it's this most active page. And I think I sort it by trades. There it is right there. So BYD, I mean, we talk about the EV space a lot there. Tencent, as you just mentioned, so on and so forth. But I always look here to see which names are doing the most trades. And then you could see Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac is on there. Luckin Coffee, another big one as well. So Nintendo, as a lot of people get excited about that Japanese market, now up to $18 as well. So no, man, not at all, Jeff. I mean, that's, definitely something that, I look at and try to trade. So yeah, definitely looking where the liquidity is. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac lately have been great. So my ear is always to the ground there, waiting to hear if there is going to be an announcement of bringing these things back and privatizing once more with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So great website.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Fannie Mae, right? I mean, the website's on a little bit of a delayed basis. I think it's like, 15 minutes or something. But anyway, Fannie Mae has already traded, almost $34 million worth of stock today, approaching 5 million shares, right? So definitely, and trading around, over $7, right? That's, it's a great day trading stock, right? That I know, Sean, you're always interested in, but then also, it's been moving up and down too, right? So a little bit of momentum, different types of plays depending on what you're looking at. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's, you mentioned BYD, it's funny. It's like, Nintendo. I've actually been over to Seoul, South Korea 2 times in the past month.
Nice.
And also Hong Kong as well too. And so it's like a lot of the conversations that we're having, are around those names that are listed in that region as well too. And so it's been a great kind of been a great month getting out there and talking about OTC markets, but then of course Moon as well too.
Well, great that you're having that success there, and thanks for going over all of that with Neil. It's 11 o'clock already, Jeff, so thank you so much for coming on. We'll hope to do this again next week, and we'll keep talking about all of that. And we do know that, catching a little bit of tidal wave there is this after-hours trading. So we're really, really happy to continue to talk about that and, discuss the different options that our traders do have, as Palantir right now is ripping.
Palantir.
So, okay,
there you
Jeff.
Go. Good job, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. All right, thank you so much for that one. Thank you, Jeff.
Toronto trip soon.
Perfect. Well, get over here, my guy. All right, right now, there it is. Thank you, Jeff Mendel. It is a hot dog cannon kind of a trade right now, though, for us on Palantir. It comes right into that level. It goes right up almost to my #1 trade there. Obviously, Amazon's going to be right there as well. Tesla, $1.50 in the money. How about them apples right there? As that goes props up for Tesla. Oh, boy, Neil, are we doing it right now? Your boy is green today, so that's real nice. We haven't done what's for lunch, and we will do that in a minute, but for right now, we got to do a read, or else Ramin's going to give me the what for right now. Looking for unbelievable odds and unbeatable odds on the biggest game. Switch to Profit X's peer-to-peer. This Palantir is going nuts. Peer-to-peer platform where you set the price. No more one-size price fits all. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control every step at Profit X. Again, a great experience there for anybody looking to get involved with a new technology. I like that one a lot. But Neil, oh boy, that's exactly what we do right now. There goes Palantir, man. Make them sing, my guy, because right there, Neil, it is 95 as it was written right there on the sticky note. We stay disciplined. We get it. It's green to the moon right here today. So far, so good, man. As we continue to go back up to the upside, let's take some out. Not only that trade working out for us, $1.50 in the money on Tesla that we just put on. And Neil, how about SMCI, you may ask? Well, it is another one right there. It is now 25 cents as we'll get some more out of SMCI. And there it is.
Love that pound here. I had the same 95 I covered. Just one note. VWAP to low of day on AMD. We got VWAP, we got low of day, we're out. Both those trades working fantastically. IBIT is still holding on to some strength, and the market is going, but that was a great interview because you got bottom to top and top to bottom on multiple levels there. The chips went nuts, but there was also, I know we're going to go to the midday guys, but this is not broadcast TV. We can get there in a quick little second. Like I said, AMD will reload and try to get it a second time. But there was some action in the quantum names that we didn't really get to. And this is what happened on QBTS. You also saw QUBT going, Rigetti, all catching a huge bid from bottom to the high of the day. So keep an eye on the quantum names. They're absolutely flying. It's the biggest volume since the open. I didn't hear a story, but clearly those went absolutely ham to go green on the session. Let's go over to the midday. We've got Joseph. We've got Sharif. Go get them.
Dun, 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 dun. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade. My man's getting, I'm going to go over here, bro. Jeez, I seen what you did to that guy. Yeah. Welcome to How to Trade during the midday. That is your boy Joey Dang Options, and I'm Sharif. And shout out to the OGs already.